Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here. No more news. It is May 5th, 2026. Huge show today. Going to finish up the America First United conference that happened over the weekend. Some more clips from that. And we got, for the first time on the show, big friend of the show, big supporter of the show, who I met a few months ago, Indomitably Based. You've heard me say the name. You've heard me stumble over Indomitably a million times. And Amalek is here as well. What's up, fellas?
What's up, Goyim? It's really quite an honor to be on the show. Really excited to talk about our prospects for spreading the green pill and what I learned at AFU because I was there in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Some would say more real than Jesus ever was.
Yeah, your question was good. We covered the clip yesterday, but they didn't answer it at all. They avoided it. They deflected from it.
Yeah, sadly, it was just, a little bit all over. I think I did talk with some of the speakers afterwards, kind of reiterated the question to them, and their first response was just, well, we won't go to those churches anymore. And that's all well and good, but I tried to get them to commit to actually waging something of a cancellation attempt on those churches, exposing them for, expelling sincere members, etc., until they commit to at least allowing them in and ideally giving them some kind of power that's at least a step in the right direction, even if it's far from where we need to be, I think.
Yeah, so you asked the perfect question, and the guy before you too. Also, he's like, "So are you guys Protestant or Catholic?" It's like, all right, go ahead, go at it. But then your question to them, the panel, was like, what are they supposed to do with the churches that are all like, kosher and don't share their views? And they're like, don't go in and convince them of anything. Just go to different churches. And the girl was like, yeah, go to a Catholic church, as if the Catholic Church endorses what people at that event were saying.
I know Catholics that get canceled IRL from their own churches for being remotely, trying to be counter-Semitic, even if we all agree here that they're not really far enough. They're maybe making a step in the right direction, and they get expelled from their own churches.
Mm-hmm. All the time. Disavowed. Like Nick and the Groypers promote Catholicism as like the one and only solution, while they're disavowed by the U.S. bishops and by the rhetoric of the Pope. So you pointed out the main contradiction. So did you like the title I did? I did America First Infiltrator Speaks Out. Is that too much?
Well, I actually really like the organizers. I actually liked almost everyone I talked to there. And I don't want to present myself as an infiltrator because, quite frankly, I was really open with everyone I talked to that I'm not a Christian. I wish the America First movement well, the Groypers and various aligned things. I'm not quite there, and I think that, if anything, this can give us some insights how we can reach out to Groypers, to Christians, etc., people that in many cases really are well-intentioned, and show them what they're missing, and hopefully help them not just have the correct ideology, but actually win over people, especially people that have been disgruntled and harmed by Christianity. Like me, myself, I'm an ex-Christian, and I have a lot of really good friends that are Christians, and so I think we have to reach out to them, and I think we can because the truth's on our side.
So it seems like there was like a disaster. This event was pretty much a disaster, a train wreck. Nick's disavowing. It's created this war with the Groypers and these people. So what are some of your other thoughts? What do you want to tell us about the event?
Sure.
Did you get the vibe? It was just like almost to a lot of people, they would have been better off if it was in a church, because it's basically just all about Jesus first.
Well, there were some funny contrasts there. The first thing I have to say is the organizers, Amy Dangerfield and her husband, I think are really well-intentioned people. They're very good-natured, very kind, very welcoming. And, their goal was, as they say, to make a big tent where people could unite around specific issues that really are pressing issues, like trying to stop the war in Iran, trying to stop Israel's stranglehold over the U.S. writ large, etc. And, well, we're going to talk about a lot of things that could have been done differently, but I really just have to respect people that are doing real things in real life under their real faces, real names, and
almost all of them with the real faces. What did you think of the guy with the helmet on?
Well,
were you familiar with that guy?
Oh yes, he's an IRL friend actually. So
Oh, okay.
IRL friend of Joel Webbins as well. I've met Joel IRL as well. Just happens to live nearby. So it's a small world in a certain sense. But yeah,
What did you tell Joel when you talked to him?
So Joel specifically gave a speech that I thought is, not just something I have some ideological disagreements with, but is going to set back our entire people. It was pretty heavy on putting a lot of blame on women, and it's just not factually correct. Like, for instance, there are a couple ideas that were intertwined there. Number one, that women are responsible for left wing and white erasure and all these kinds of things. But look, married white women and married white men vote almost identically, and yes, a lot of modern female support for far left causes is, I think, kind of a cry for help. They're really frustrated with the dating situation with their own lives. Like, who can blame them? Male inceldom and their own ideological commitments aren't that different in terms of how it's kind of a cry of frustration. And so if we can do something positive to, here's a concept, actually get people married, help people form healthy relationships, etc., a lot of that's going to go away. But on the other hand, if you just attack women, that's just human nature to react against that. You're going to just trigger people, and kind of understandably so.
Is Joel married?
He is married.
He is.
He
Okay.
has, yeah, he has 5 kids, I believe. So in his own right, he's walking the walk. And I've been to his church. It's actually quite a well-attended church, and it's growing very rapidly.
Really, really. I thought
Yeah.
it was just like in somebody's living room with like a few people is what I saw.
It probably was like that a couple of years ago, but no, they're in a new built building. It's like a very economical steel type building, and it's probably like 75% full already. They're probably well over 100 people there. Decent number
He's
of
really
families.
rolling it in, huh? The anti-Semitic Jesus grift is going real well.
Well, he's building his own network, it seems, and a friend of mine kind of chatted with him. Hey, when are you going to debate Adam Green? That friend's also very open to the green pill, at least.
W friend. W
Exactly.
friend.
W
Good
friend.
job.
Very good friend. Yep.
What'd he say?
And he said that he doesn't do debates, which may be true in the strict
Yeah,
sense.
only other
but
Christians, only in the Abrahamic circle jerk echo chamber.
It's funny because you've probably seen his recent conversation with Father Calvin Robinson, who's, calls himself a Catholic, but he's really kind of an Episcopal Anglican. By the way, met him. Actually, I think a very friendly
Kicked
guy.
out of several churches.
Exactly, kicked
or
out of
left
many.
And kicked out. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Which is-
Amalek, do you have any questions for Indomitably so far?
No, let me keep going. I'm just listening. Yeah, keep going.
Perfect. Yeah, Father Robinson, very friendly guy, by the way. I have zero problems with him. He's done interviews, or like I think they do a regular show with Pastor Webben, and Father Robinson, as a self-proclaimed Catholic, of the Anglican variety, is pretty critical of Protestantism, and Joel Webben doesn't really push back that much. I'll say Joel Webben's kind of a soft-spoken guy. I don't know him well, but I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that he, like others, just has major blind spots with respect to the green pill, and
He's just
frankly,
brainwashed. He's sincerely
I think so. I think so.
Deeply Christ brain infected by the virus.
I suspect so. I mean, I was a devout Christian until I was 19. And like I considered going to the ministry myself. The evangelical megachurch that I was attending had its pastor encourage me to be a minister. So
And look
I
at
know
you
where
now.
the Christians are
Look
coming
at
from.
you now.
Exactly. But I think this is a perfect example of people that really are reachable, that I think are sincere. And, there's huge cognitive dissonance when you've given a lot of your life to something and then you encounter real hard evidence that can disprove it, quite frankly. We can go into it because I've actually broken down every single speaker here, just talk about their strengths, what I might disagree with on, whether we can make common cause with them, etc. But just to summarize, I chatted with Father Robinson a lot more about this than with Joel, but he actually didn't even know who Esau represents prophetically. Huge blind spot amongst every single major Christian theologian, Catholic priest. I've talked to Protestant pastors, Catholic priests, lay theologians, a good friend of mine, trained at Oxford for theology, like brilliant guy. They don't even pretend to know. In a certain sense, it's good that they're honest. And I think this is just the easiest point of leverage to point out, look, man, if this religion was false but harmless or even adaptive for our people, I'd probably just shut my mouth personally and maybe just kind of go through the motions. But if we can prove that it's an engineered deception to not only weaken our nations but set us up for apocalyptic self-own, basically, then it's a matter of survival to, at the very least, strip every single harmful Jewish verse out of that New and Old Testaments, and probably, ideally, go to something that's authentic and organic to our people.
Yeah, they're not going to strip anything out. It's either scrap it all or... so basically what you're telling me is these people just don't know what they're talking about.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Dude, Anomaly Base. Oh, hold on. Let the super chat play.
Check is for us das paying fund.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm in similar circles where I talk to a lot of like what I would call like real Christians, but also a lot of like Christian like I would call them like pseudo e-crusaders maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk to these people all the time about this stuff, and dude, you're totally right on with basically saying like none of them have any idea what Esau or any of these things are. I've had to explain and like spell out the Esau dialectic to them, and in so doing, I have to like tell the entire story and like various parables, things like that, right? Like they don't even know the basis for it, right? So a lot of it is me educating them. Which think about how crazy that is. These people spend so much time studying so much about this, and they somehow just like never got to this part like that at all. They never they legitimately don't know anything about this at all. I the number of Christians who I've encountered who know what the hell I'm talking about, I could probably count on like two hands maybe at most. So
and that's doubly shocking when you see that like the story of Jacob and Esau is the foundational story for the entire Old Testament, because it's where Israel comes from, it's where the Messiah comes from, etc. This isn't a trivial story. And it's founded upon deception, deceiving us, no less. And then, something just occurred to me. There is so much noise in the Bible, like, genealogies of random people. It's incredibly boring, parts of it's just horrifying, grotesque, rapes and slaughters, etc. Some of it's just schizo. Yahweh's yelling at the Jews for not being Jewish enough. And then he's talking about how he loves them. And, oh, by the way, he hates them, but he hates the Goyim more, but he loves the Jews. Like schizo, self-contradictory stuff. Kind of reminds me of, we have junk DNA. Most of our DNA is non-coding, and it's kind of a convenient way, like if a mutation occurs in junk DNA, it doesn't mess up your real genes, as it were. It's almost like there's all this garbage in it of genealogies and random stories to distract you from the really important messages. Because if you read through the Bible, your eyes will just glaze over for 90% of it.
Yeah, they don't read the Bible either. Especially not. Or just the parts that make them feel good that they're
right. Exactly. John 3:16 on auto repeat.
Okay, so anything else before we start getting into the clips, which I'm sure will spur some more thoughts? Any other? What do you think a pagan, an anti-Christian pagan, would ever be allowed in some United America First group?
Well, my friend Neon White Rabbit, the dude in the mask, is not a Christian, and he actually, on the panel, he stated, look, you shouldn't have to be a Christian to be a member of this broader movement, if we consider ourselves part of it to begin with, or at least aligned.
Would they allow one to sorry, Dominic, wait, hold on. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
We're not with them.
hold on. Well, hold on. I gotta wait. So the guy who said everything after Vatican II is bullshit isn't even Christian is such a wild thing. And I searched through his Twitter, and I don't think it's clear that he's not a Christian to his followers, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. He doesn't really talk that much about religious stuff. I think he's picked up some of those talking points because, frankly, even a devout Catholic wouldn't really say that. Even a Sede Vacantist would probably be a bit more nuanced, but...
Yeah, hey. I literally, that was going to be my tweet about it, was this isn't even, this is to the right of SEDS. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. Whatever that is, that doesn't exist in the real world whatsoever.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd
But
go
yeah,
to a
that's
State of
interesting.
Aconta's church just out of curiosity, just to show respect.
It's a bunch of like 40K Warhammer nerds. I've done that. I've gone and talked to those guys. They're not very. I mean, nothing against 40K, but like that's what it is.
Oh, okay, interesting. But yeah, Adam,
That's-
do you want to play some clips first, and then
Yeah.
I've got various comments on various people too, but maybe the clips are a good start.
Okay. I was trying to find the clip where you did your thing too. I want to play, but I could not find it on my timeline. I guess I got to go to.
Oh, I'll grab it. I'll throw it up in the.
Amalek's.
Yeah, I'll throw it up in the chat here in a second.
Okay. All right. Well, first one. Oh, and by the way, super chat or power chats are on, pinned to the top of the live chat in Rumble and Odyssey. I gotta go take this little thing to the vet today. After this, so if you want to donate to the Cheetah Pet Fund, that is a sponsor today. Oh my God, the girls love the cat so much. They're like exuberant. Never seen them so obsessed and happy about something. Doesn't every little girl need a kitten? I never thought I was going to get a cat. But
I grew up with dogs, and I never knew how nice cats can be, but I've met some really nice cats. Ironically, the nicest cat I've met recently was a Hitler cat. Like, I just was minding my own business, and he came and sat in my lap, and interesting.
You mean it had like a mustache?
Yeah.
No.
Mustache and a little black lock on white fur.
That's funny. I was watching something on cats, like inside the mind of a cat, and it said that they were largely domesticated in Egypt, and then that Vikings on their ships spread them around much of the world. And then at one point, a Christian pope declared that they were demonic and satanic, and they all killed all the cats. So
Awful.
Cats are Aryan, in my opinion. This one's Jewish, but the archetype of the cat is very Aryan. I'm joking, obviously, but that's what they said. Vikings. They kept the rats off the ships.
Well, it's a perfect example of the atavistic strain that's in Christianity. Like during the Middle Ages, cats, which are excellent at killing mice and rats that carry fleas and such, were indeed, superstitiously seen as demonic, and they were killed off when that's precisely what you need to eat those rats and mice. So.
Christian moment. The Christians got whipped up into a frenzy and started sacrificing and torturing cats to death.
Oof.
Christian moment.
But no, bro, only pagans commit animal sacrifices. That's not in the Old Testament either. They would never do that.
Yeah. Okay, so first one, at the America First panel, speakers accuse other influencers of taking money tied to Israel while misleading their audience. And then Amalek says, or who shared this? Yeah. The same influencers complaining about taking money are also promoting sports betting. Yeah, but they'll say it's not for Israel. It's not to do pro-Israel stuff. I think
Might
that's
be
the
worse
context
in
here.
a certain sense. Most
Social
people
media.
lose money on
Social media.
sports betting.
I know it is more like predatory in a way. One's clearly Israeli propaganda. The other is like trying to grift off of gambling addicts.
Yeah.
My mic is quiet. Okay.
Yeah, tons of people like commit suicide off of that and stuff. Like that's the whole that's the business model. Like what the fuck are we talking about? Like what are we doing? That shouldn't be accepted at all in this sphere.
Okay.
What do you guys know anybody specifically in social media who claim to be within our party who are taking this $7,000 payout, or again, like we said, these influencers like Lance, Cam, and James, or going to Israel?
So it sucks what Israel is doing, but there's also it's an integrity problem on a lot of these fucking talking heads. Like, take the fucking money, fuck it, you know what I mean? But tell the fucking truth. Don't have them own you. Don't
Absolutely.
fucking lie to people that trust.
Dude, I don't think a guy in a mask saying fuck like 5 times in one sentence is good optics, to be honest. I know he's your friend. That's just my a little bit of my
He's a plain-spoken
criticism.
guy,
To bring them the truth of what's going on, So,
I think Morgan Ariel's face while it's going on is good optics, though.
Yeah. The shoulder pads are definitely good optics, and Chris Brunette definally. Isn't it funny? It's like
Chris. That's so funny.
I know. The two groin pads are down. There's some scandal like this girl, like these two girls want to be Nick's like top groipette, and now like they both made
My
him
understanding
cringe.
The opposite. So Morgan, Ariel, and Nick apparently have beef that goes a long
No,
way
I
back.
meant more. I meant this girl and Dangerfield.
Amy Dangerfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to give me any money,
Okay.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But
You're absolutely right, though. I would rather die for the truth. If Israel offered me $5 million or I'm dead, you're going to see me cold on the streets because I'm not taking money from somebody like that. Absolutely
take
not.
the money and tell everyone
Absolutely
how shitty Israel
not.
is, and then tell them how you use the money to actually wake people up to what Israel's doing to our fucking country.
I'm not taking dirty money. I can't take dirty money.
Well, here's the thing. In order
Garrett sent
to
$5.
really
Just
get
wanted
anywhere,
to say I know we disagree on a lot, but overall I have a lot of respect for you as a pioneer of anti-Abrahamism. You're the man.
Bro, well, thank you, Garrett. But I thought we debunked the flagellum motor. You're still sticking with. I just saw that anti-evolution guy was on with Dinesh D'Souza too.
I was just gonna say that I watched like 10. I just watched a little bit of it. It's bad, but I didn't post it or not because I know you're gonna want to have it for later in the week. I'll post it later. The clip.
Yeah.
in conservative politics, you have to sell your soul. I mean, these people are selling their soul. They're basically political prostitutes for whatever the establishment, whatever Israel wants them to say, and they're selling us down the river and sending the future generations, leading them straight to hell. We're going to be living in a freaking hellscape where we have absolutely, you own nothing and you will be happy. Well, you know what? I say we worship God and we will have everything because my God is great and my God is mighty, and I think that we just need to be free from this crap. And exactly, calling people out, especially calling out the churches.
My God.
I really
Hold on. Okay, dude. We're going to win because my God's stronger. It's my God's going to win against the Jewish God. Like, are we really? We just got to stop.
Yeah, Adam, not to interrupt, but I did have a thought on, Neon White Rabbit talking about taking the money but telling the truth. Anyways, I'm going to defend this. I know it's going to be a controversial take here, but, it kind of reminds me of how a lot of Christians would say, like, I'd rather die than so much as deny Jesus verbally. Maybe there's a case for Aryan takiya, as it were. Pretend to, like, even if you believe in Jesus Christ and so on and so forth, what's the harm in saving your life, saving your family, so you can live another day and then you can tell the truth about Jesus if you're a Christian? Or in this case, wouldn't it be a hilarious own if the Jews actually were going to give you $5 million, you take it, and then you defy them? Now, generally dangerous to double-cross the mafia, to be sure, and, $7,000 regular payments get addictive, so there is a difference, to be sure, but just kind of hypothetical anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do like to say, I will rather die than rebuke Jesus.
do better at getting a list together, because I'm sure that you guys have maybe possibly seen that there are these organizations that are reaching out to pastors at churches, like Operation Maki Pastor, where they're reaching out to the freaking pastors, and then they're having the pastors preaching messages and coming against America First or anything that is in our favor or is against Zionism, and they pay the pastors, and they're basically prostitutes too. I call them charlatans. So this is...
I hate this. Oh, they're paying the pastors. Gentiles would never think the Jews were chosen, and there would never be pro-Israel stuff without the pastors being paid. It's your Bible, lady. Right. These are well-intentioned people that are reading the Bible, trying to understand it, and they become Zionist. Zionism is the final fruit of Christianity. It's not that they're paying the pastors. It's that the pastors are reading the Bible and sincerely believe these things.
Yeah, and what she's talking about is she's talking about that thing. Remember the story that you covered? Maybe it was last year, I think it was, where it's these, they're checking their cell phone apps and things like that, and they have these relationships with certain pastors and their events and things like that. Remember that story? That's what she's referring to here, right? So pretending like that small operation wasn't like, I don't know. It was like, I think it was like $360,000 in one state. It's like they're taking this like tiny thing and they're blowing it up as if that's the reason we have 700 million Christian Zionists, right? Like there's literally 700 million Christian Zionists in the world, and they're pretending like this, oh, it's just because of paid pastors. Like that's ridiculous. That's insane.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down from the top, I believe that it is definitely, it is more of a military grade type of operation taking place there. And
That's funny because I agree. Christianity is sort of a military-grade operation, psychological operation against the Romans is pretty much how it started.
War
They
by
couldn't
other
win on
means.
the battlefield, so they did mythological warfare. They tried to have a cultural war against them with the Messiah memes and belief in prophecies and the God of Israel.
His tongue is a sharp sword. That's his weapon against you.
Exactly.
It just starts with us waking people up to it and not being afraid to tell them and teach them the truth, so that, because I don't think that if we can get the church, people in the churches to start waking up to this, then the gig is up, okay? Because there's too many. And that's why I'm so passionate about Christianity in general.
If we could convince the people in the churches, okay, and then you say don't go to the churches and try to convince people. Why isn't that happening? Where are all these
Right,
debates where you're winning and everybody's coming to your side?
That's a great point, because if these people were just focused on taking Zionist Christians and making them anti-Zionists, I think we should just step back and let them do their thing. But it seems more directed at people that are already anti-Zionist and trying to make them Christians. That's the concern.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, but they can't even debate little old me on Twitter. They can't. they can't even. They can't even hold their own against us. They won't even engage with us. They don't have any way of doing the debates. I deal with this all the time when I'm doing the Romans 9 through 15 stuff, right? Where I say to them, you guys can't even describe to me what is in this text. Okay, like just the baseline, describe to somebody what the text is saying, and you expect me to believe that you guys are going to somehow like theologically or rhetorically reconquer or retake over your churches? That's insane. That's never happening. That's never happening. You guys don't even have the beginnings of a plan. You haven't even started it.
Yeah. How much longer are we supposed to wait for you to wake up all the Christian Zionists? Like, you really think that do you see them winning any debates in the past or in the future that Jesus isn't Jewish? Or that the Jews are the synagogue of Satan and worship the devil? Like, are you seeing any of these e-crusaders engage with Zionist Christians and Schofield Christians and win debates on this? I'm not. They're not convincing anybody of that shit because it's not true and it's easily debunked.
Yeah, I think it's pretty dubious. If I can play devil's advocate, here's what some of my traditional Catholic friends have told me. They're very young, skew like mid-20s and younger. And most will say, well, look, the next generation of priests will have to come from our generation because there will just be no one else from whom to draw priests. And they will eventually work their way up the hierarchy and they will eventually get in power, or there just won't be anyone to run it. I think this is weak for two reasons. Number one, they can just do a controlled demolition of the church. I think they'd rather do that and, have a lack of leadership than let it turn counter-Semitic in any way, even if it's kind of a weak sauce in counter-Semitism. But then, two, that just assumes that they can't be de-radicalized, that they can't manufacture some new consent, or they can't kind of give a pale copy of this. Like, they're trying to do this with Nikki Haley's son to replace Nick Fuentes and just have him kind of make some noise about economic things. But
he's a fan of Fuentes, is what I thought. No,
well,
he's not replacing him.
Maybe that's what Nick perceived. I don't follow it closely, but
No, I agree. They are trying to do that. What he said, Adam. Because did you see that story that ran in Free Press this week?
Yeah, exactly. Barry Weiss's Free Press.
Yeah,
very
Weiss's,
laudatory.
Yeah, they wrote like a glaze piece on Nikki Haley's son, basically kind of situating him as like this post-Trump, non-Groyper version of Nick, or like non-edgy version of Nick's stuff.
Tucker too.
Yeah, I was gonna say linking it with Tucker and things like that. And he went and he was visiting with Tucker. They had like that lunch or whatever it was. But the premise was that it was going to be like kind of like Groyperism without all the hate kind of idea, if that makes sense. And then right when that's going on, like while that story dropped, Nikki Haley's son attacks Vivek's, like that pagan comment that Vivek made, where he talks about how you don't need Jesus type of thing to go to heaven. And he attacked him with the Bible, right?
Incredibly rare Vivek W.
Yeah, right.
All right.
In the body of Christ is waking them up. This is the message, to wake up the church, because once the church wakes up, it's over for them. It's over.
Yeah. Once the single mom with HPV that is e-crusader, queen, grifter. Yeah, once she's gonna wake up all the churches, guys. She's the theologian.
Absolutely. And I also do want to say, I want to call on people within the America First movement. If you're dividing the movement,
She's gonna tell all those men in the churches what's up.
you're just as bad as the Zionist scum that are dividing us. You're just as bad as people accepting the money.
Yeah.
So when we see events like these, we need to unify together. If you want to be the so-called leader of the America First movement, then step up and be the leader. Otherwise, do not divide the movement. We need to make this.
Hey, Nick, if you want to be the leader of America First, like the thing, the moniker that you've used for your show forever, that you got from Trump, and Trump copied from others in the past too. If you want to be the leader, Nick, you need to team up with the Muslims and the anti-dox girl and the Russian communist Mexican guy with the Congo atrocity porn. If you want to be the leader, you better team up with all these communist, anti-white, leftist, Marxist Muslims. Funny.
You know, to Nick's credit, I think he was trying to do that years ago, and he realized the futility and the counterproductivity of it. I think Nick's grown a lot in terms of his maturity and insight on things. Like,
yeah, we were all right about Sneeko and Suleiman. All right about Sneeko and Suleiman. Oh, yeah, Adam called that on the Christian-Muslim alliance. How's that going?
I do have comments on the people I met, though, like the Muslim girl, Samira, and others. But I don't know if you want to get into it now or if you want to go through the clips.
Give us the scoop on the Muslim
Honestly,
girl.
Yeah, perfect. I'll talk about everyone here. What
was she? Okay. Do you know, like, where? What kind of Muslim? Like, what country?
So she's a Sunni. She's actually half white and half, I don't know what her other ancestry is. She just said, like, half brown. So she's born in America, and keep in mind she was appointed by Donald Trump for his Religious Liberty Commission in early 2025. So some of her critics that are still pro-Trump, like, what are you doing, guys? If you have such a problem with her, maybe you should have a problem with Trump for appointing her, just to be logically consistent. But, to be honest, like, she's not left-wing. Yes, she's a practicing Muslim, but okay, lots of Abrahamics here, and she was completely cool with, like, this just came up organically in conversation with, white people or people of other races doing their own intentional communities for them. She's not like a gay race communist type of hating whitey, etc. So yeah, I thought she was quite nice and quite smart, frankly. She's studying Islamic sciences, so she's going to a seminary, and she's going to be some kind of preacher at a mosque, which is interesting. I didn't know they had female preachers of any kind, but I don't know, man.
Didn't she say stuff about, like, white atrocities, or do you remember what she said exactly, Emily? She said something about, like, hate, that something about we can't hate, right? I was getting leftist coded rhetoric.
Well, I was too, especially because she did say the part where she said something along the lines of, like, no one is free until we're all free, sort of idea. And, like, that is just, like, directly out of what I would say is, like, the far left's, like, rhetoric, like, rhetoric book, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's GRC rhetoric. To be honest, I didn't hear her speech because I got really bored with Joel Webbin's speech about halfway through, and I just walked out to just talk to people, and I didn't realize she had come to speak next. So
I heard he talked for a real long time.
Yeah, it was kind of preaching to the choir, and I'm not in the choir, as it were. But so that was just my impression of Samira. Honestly, I like her. I think she's quite smart and interesting. And people can certainly question the strategy of a big tent uniting on specific issues like anti-Israel, anti-Iran war, etc. Is that really going to get us anywhere? Is that going to end those wars or things like that, much less actually save our people? No, it's probably not. Maybe it's a step in the right direction. But if you're going to do that, then, I think it's logical to invite someone like her, at least. I think the other two people that people are calling left-wing, even though, again, Samira is not left-wing, but others were, that might be... well, let's see. What
about the Doc's Ice girl, the girl that was selling?
So she didn't speak, actually. She was just an attendee. And I also chatted with her. She was quite friendly to me. She probably felt like she was...
How many people were there, would you say?
Oh, I guess probably about 50 or so.
It looked like a small room, and the photo I saw was a bunch of empty chairs. Was that just... like everybody was at lunch or something? What was going on?
Yeah, exactly. For some of the speeches, the room was completely packed. Yep.
Who do you think had the biggest speech? Who's the biggest star of the night?
Casey Butch probably was. And I had a really positive impression of him, actually. He's just frankly quite an accomplished man in his own life. He's an accomplished inventor. He's very public minded.
What did he invent? I've heard that a few times now. What did he invent?
His most famous invention is a diesel car that he built himself that gets 105 miles a gallon and accelerates 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and would cost under $20,000 to manufacture, he estimates. So it could be sort of like, it's a sports car. It's a two-seater. It's incredibly aerodynamic. Maybe the crashworthiness could be subject to question, but it's a shop-built car, so there may be other things you need to change for reliability and such. But in principle, it's cool ingenuity, Let's see. In Casey's place, he's actually a great speaker. And my impression of him is that he's very sincere. He's very fiery and passionate and, justifiably angry at certain things. He kind of got into this pretty late in terms of running. He was just outraged at Vivek being practically coronated by the Ohio Republican Party without even a genuine primary. They're not even bothering to hide or pretend to give the people a choice. And so that's what made him run. It's kind of a little bit late to get into it. And of course, Vivek is heavily bankrolled by Zionist Jewish billionaires like Jeffrey Yass and others. So it's really an uphill battle, but I hope it's going to be training for him.
Isn't he also a billionaire himself? I thought I heard
Yes.
Casey's speech say that he was funding it with his billions or something.
Both, yes. Vivek is a multi-billionaire himself. He drew most of his money from an abject scam in pharmaceuticals. Basically,
a pump
his
and
mother
dump.
is pump and dump. It's actually worse than just a standard pump and dump because his mother is a doctor and she conducted a fake clinical trial, which should be highly illegal, huge violation of international regulations also on protecting research subjects, to make this medication look like it worked so that he could dump it. So that's worse than just a social media influencer, doing a standard thing. This potentially put patients' lives in danger. It's really quite outrageous.
Okay, let's try to move on with another
Movement
clip.
strong. We need to make this a real movement and get rid of the dead GOP rhino. We need to get together, unite, and stop dividing each other. Events like this is what's going to bring this party together, give us strength, and actually give a fist to fight against Zionism. So we need to get together.
Public sentiment is shifting.
Need to get together. All the Jesus believers. That's kind of what Jesus believers, okay with Jesus, I should say, and critical of Israel or Zionist power. Those are the two requirements, I guess. And then if you match that litmus test, anything goes, apparently.
It's definitely the most common combination, yeah.
Let's see Morgan's statement after
derailing over the America First United.
After the event.
I just wanted to come on here because I see a lot of people derailing over the America First United conference yesterday, and I want to give a shout out to Amy for putting this event together in less than a month at an undisclosed location that turned out absolutely perfect. They were able to rally people together in such a short amount of time and keep the crowd small. I know that that's one of the critiques. Oh, you can't even fill a room. It was supposed to be small because there's so many bad actors in this movement that actually don't care about the country at all. They don't care about America in the slightest. So shout out to them for that. And also, a lot of people that are running their mouths were begging to come to the event. So I just find that so funny. So if you have something to say,
I wonder who she's talking about. There.
Get out, and you should go physically do something and get active. And in the meantime, the rest of us are going to keep doing what we can to try to save America and free us from Jewish supremacy. And on that note, God bless.
We're going to fight Jewish supremacy, and then God bless. Let's God bless the Jewish God, who is supreme in heaven.
I think still it's maybe something of a long way to come from just a few years ago. I don't recall them really even using the term Jewish supremacy, which I think is an appropriate term, even if they don't understand how deep the agenda goes by a long shot.
That's true.
And,
normalizing of that idea. I don't think worshiping the Jewish God and his Messiah is the solution to that threat. But, another question. How did all these? Okay, so they were promoting this for a month, or at least a few weeks. Tons of big influencers with huge followings. How did they only have like 300 people watching on Rumble? You think the audio issues were so bad people just tuned out?
I assume so. I don't use the social media so much, so I wasn't even aware of this until after the event. But apparently there already was a great deal of controversy about whether or not this should be allowed to be called America First United and so on. So some people may have boycotted it for that reason.
Yeah, they should have said it's anti-Israel Christians United. That would have been more accurate. It's more likely what it is, how I see it.
It's definitely the preponderance, yeah.
Yeah.
Domino, did you see my theory on how this happened? I want to hear what your thoughts are.
I've not seen your theory, no.
Okay, I'm calling it the magic Vrilify theory. So I don't know if you remember, but about a month ago, Vrilify made that video where he's like he's like a super fan of Amy Dangerfield. He just likes her content so much. He made this video about her, and she got very upset by it, and she made that like crashing out response video taking it seriously, and everyone was kind of dunking on her for taking it seriously. And that was about the exact time she started like organizing this event. So I think what happened is essentially Vrilify bullied her with his video. She was so upset that she thought that she was going to show off like, oh, I'm not, because the video kind of paints her as like this like trad larper groypet queen only, and she was thinking like, oh, I'll show all them. I'm not like
she's
that.
Like, I'm not a sexual patriot. I'm an MC of a real event.
Yeah. I'm not like ripping her here. Like I could totally see how this kind of I could kind of see how this went down, if that makes sense.
A little crazy to be like not from America and have a harsh Australian accent and then like be leading the America First conference. That's a little bizarre to me. Like if it was a Mexican up there with a crazy Mexican accent, like wouldn't that be almost just as weird?
Well, kind of dumb question here. Is Vrilify different from Vrillium?
Yeah. I'm not talking about Brilliant. I'm talking about Vrilify, friend of the show.
Gotcha.
Vrilify.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't follow that drama, to be honest. I thought Amy's speech was very good. You know, she's lived in America for a long time. She's lived in Florida, I guess. Obviously, she is from Australia. But, you know, white people from Australia can become full Americans, IMHO.
I saw a tweet from you. Are you Jewish?
So when I was at Thanksgiving dinner, my uncle proceeded to tell me that I might.
She's if she doesn't open her mouth, she can look good in some photos, but I mean the worst voice I've ever heard. Am I the only one? Is this like a normal voice? Like she's just from a place, then like everybody sounds like this or something?
I think she's just from like really rural Midwest, like Wisconsin, maybe.
This is a Wisconsin accent? What up, Carlin? Shout out. Yeah, this is Morgan Ariel.
Yeah. I think it's a Michigander accent.
Michigan?
I have some that I might be an ethnic Jew, but I mean, I don't know if there's any
Michelle
validity
Bachmann.
to it. I'm mainly German
like
and
Michelle
French. I just thought it was kind of funny because I was like, oh, the irony of everything that I've been saying. It's like, okay, well, now I'm a chosen one then, right? Like all of my life, I've never heard.
Okay. I don't know if she's really Jewish or not. Is it like, did she say she was, but then now she says she's not? One of those things? I don't know. She's spiritually Jewish. That's all that really matters.
Or wannabe, as it were. But, you know, I interacted with her briefly. Seems like a nice person. I can't tell for sure, to be sure, but that's the logic of Christianity, right? Anyone, no matter their ethnicity, can become a Christian. And I don't think that that's really going to work for us, but yeah, you know, maybe we can't really fault the Christians for saying that until they're green-pilled and they understand that that's not going to work. It's not going to work for them. It's not really going to defeat Jewish power, most likely, unfortunately.
What do you think about the sponsor of the group, the Uncensored AI?
Amalek did great research on them.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, it's pretty shady, right? Or not like, I don't know, not shady like I'm saying it's Jews or Mossad or something.
Sure.
Just the program, the bot is gives bullshit, gives all the e-crusader Christian cope bullshit.
It's quite frankly just it's hard to run a business as a dissident, particularly something that's capital intensive, like training your own AI or even fine tuning it. It looks like they didn't even really do that. They just gave it a really elaborate system prompt that kind of makes it biased in certain directions. Amalek did all the research on this, but tells it to promote the J-proof coin, or at least defend it against the obvious charge that it's a rug and other things. I played around with it. It hallucinates extensively, but that's pretty typical of AI LLMs, to be honest. I don't even know that that's something to fault it for. It's a hard
It reminds
space.
me of the Gab AI one, too.
Yeah.
It's like these Christians are programming these AIs just to give it, like, all of their views. It's just as bad. It's not like it's uncensored or neutral. They're programming it to reaffirm what they believe and think.
They're trying, yeah. Ironically, you can't really program an AI just because it's not deterministic. It's just probabilistic. But, it didn't really seem to work for me. I think if LLMs would work, there's probably an interesting market here. They would probably do well to train it on a wide corpus of censored literature, Christian and non-Christian, Occidental Observer and good Substacks and so on. But
so here's what it says. Is Jesus Jewish? And it says, Jesus was not a Jew. He was a Galilean. Galileans can be Jews. In fact, much of Galilee was Jews. Most of Galilee was Jews. And the leader of it was Josephus, Jewish. Born in Bethlehem. You mean like King David of Judah? But raised in Nazareth. The term Jew refers to those from Judea, whereas Jesus was from Galilee. Oh, my God. Is he the seed of David? That's why he had to go back to Bethlehem to fulfill the prophecy. This is
you don't
just
even understand
all
the
retarded.
narrative structure.
Right.
The narrative structure is that his owns reject him. Okay, you fucking idiots! Like within your own framing, and this is so stupid.
Yeah,
I hate these people. They don't even understand their own story.
Yeah, it says Jesus' teaching often criticized the Pharisees and Sadducees. Okay, one Jewish sect criticizing another doesn't mean it's not Jewish. When Pilate asked Jesus if he was the king of the Jews, Jesus replied, "You say so." So he didn't say no.
Right.
And it also says, this is a cope. We hear this all the time. When Jesus is born, it says, the wise men came and said, "Where's the one born king of the Jews?" So
I think the "you say so" is just one example of many of Jesus being kind of evasive as to his status as Messiah, but that makes perfect sense when you understand he's the secret Messiah, Moshiach ben Yosef. And in fact, really the only time that he gives a straight answer is to the Samaritan woman. And the Samaritans are descendants of Ephraim, descendants of Joseph, and they had a known belief in their own Messiah. They called it Tacheb in Aramaic, that was basically Messiah, son of Joseph. That's the one time he says, "Yeah, I'm the Messiah," to a Samaritan woman. Go figure. But,
It calls him king of the Jews above his cross. I guess that's also mocking. So it's just these Christians coping to try to act like, oh, it's mocking, or Jesus was being evasive. He didn't really, he just said, well, you say I am, you say so. But it also did it when he was born, and it's clear that the Messiah is the king of the Jews. So this is just total sophist bullshit. This is the most bullshit AI answer I've ever seen. It says, this indicates Jesus did not identify as a Jew, but as the king of Israel.
Oh, okay.
The Bible, again, Judean, King David is the king of Judah. The Bible describes Jesus as the Lion of the tribe of Judah, referring to his lineage from the tribe of Judah, not the religion of Judaism. Oh my God, dude. He's a Jew in synagogues reading the Jewish scriptures, but it's not Judaism. He's not the fulfillment of Judaism. See how retarded this uncensored AI cope is?
Yeah, it's disappointing to be sure.
Yeah. Good luck taking over the churches with that type of ridiculous cope.
They'll blow it out of the water, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It really is what they accuse the Jews of doing too, by the way. Right? Like that is like what they're doing, like having like a fake, oh, we're gonna have an AI that says we like the whole idea that they get so mad of, and like, oh, look at, they do the light switch tricks and they're trying to trick God and all these other things. Like that's what they're trying to do when they make a fake AI, or they force it to say what they want it to say. You know what I mean? Instead of whatever the AI would naturally come to.
That's a good analogy.
Jocelyn says, great show today. Thank you, Jocelyn. Glad you think so. Expose the enemy is here. Even the Nazareth thing is wrong. Well, yeah, it's all midrash. Everything, the Nazareth out of Egypt from Bethlehem and Galilee is all midrashic from Old Testament prophecies, guys.
Dr. Laurent, mentioned this, I think, in one of his books, I forget which one, that there's a segment in which someone mentions Galilee of the Gentiles, and some well-intentioned people who want to de-Judaize Jesus or Christianity will say, look, that shows that Jesus actually was a Gentile. Some even draw some connection to the word Gaul, which I think is a spurious one. They're like, wow, he was actually a Frenchman. He was Gallic. But that just doesn't make sense when his bloodline is said to be from King David. Like, how does that work, guys? And so many other things that you've mentioned. His own rejected him. Well, that's Israel.
Yeah, it just says it's from Isaiah 9, in Galilee of the nations, Galilee of the Gentiles.
Right.
My understanding is they read that and they thought, okay, the Messiah is meant to go to the Gentiles.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Gentiles are going to go to this Messiah.
Dr. Guino mentioned something similar in the New Testament, and his interpretation was just, the elite priestly caste of Jerusalem did kind of look down on the Galileans as being something of country bumpkins, but they were understood to be Jews. It's like, people in Washington, D.C. might look down on people in West Virginia, but they're still Americans.
Josephus writes about, because he was the leader of Galilee, and he writes about all the different provinces or towns, and never mentions a Nazareth. Nazareth is never mentioned anywhere. It's probably from the branch, the Nazarite, is originally what that derived from. Okay, another clip. Morgan Ariel claims true Christianity was subverted by the satanic Rothschilds and John Darby. Never heard that one before.
And they had to...
I don't know how much I can handle of her talking about that right now, to be honest. I love how these two matched with their shoulder pad pink. They're probably... She's the anti-Nick.
Yeah.
She's the Nick A-log, and loves Nick so much that she wore a AF hat on her wedding. She married a Groiper. And they're both... Who wore it better?
Amy, did you want one of the mics to introduce the panel? Okay, gotcha.
At least she draws it further back than the Schofield Bible commentary, which some people call a translation when it's literally KJV. Darby at least goes deeper than that.
Yeah, I thought the conspiracy that it was the Rothschilds funded Schofield. Now she's saying it's the Rothschilds and Darby. It goes even deeper.
Oh, man. And, unfortunately, Darby is just drawing on very obvious things in the New Testament, like Acts 1, where Jesus makes it clear that Israel gets the kingdom of God, not the church. That's,
Yeah. It wasn't just him either. They act like, without the Jews, satanic Rothschild Jews subverting the Bible, no goy would ever read it and think any of these things,
Well, sadly, throughout church history, including in the literal Middle Ages, in the Frankish court of Charlemagne, you had Christians converting to Judaism. They read the Bible so closely, they decided to become Judaized because they saw that there wasn't really salvation, or at least an earthly kingdom outside of Israel.
Yeah.
All right, we can get everybody in their seats.
The Zoom. It's the Zoom.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Why is it Okay, here we go.
The audio job was a total flop. Did it sound good in the room at least?
The room was small enough that amplification wasn't really needed.
Oh, okay.
It was closely packed.
Famously heard of Project who gathered all of the United States, and he to $7,000 per person, pro-Israel Zion.
Oh my gosh! Is this just
I think it comes out under stress.
Media influences here today.
Oh yeah, it's fucked, dude. This is why there isn't that many clips going around.
Documented, state-sponsored.
I wish so badly we could get them to release an actual version of this.
Yeah, where's the good version?
Yeah.
Imagine is it Rumble's fault or is it their end? Yeah.
I assume Rumble's.
So stupid.
They didn't think to record it with a high def like another camera.
Well, that's the
An
thing is I
audio
see
source
people that were
recorded.
there posting clips and videos of themselves speaking, and it's synced up and it's good. And so there has to be some sort of master version or their version that they're using to give to those people, right? Someone's doing that, or someone recorded like that. I want that version because I had a whole list of clips to make while I was watching it live, and I only made this is only half of the clips I wanted to get.
And co-opt religious, educational, and media institutions. What specific strategies can effectively counter this coordinated campaign? How might Americans across the political and religious spectrum identify, expose, and neutralize these threats? So let's kick off the panel. We'll start with.
Do you want to start? Actually, I want Morgan to start.
How does "so" have an R in it? Does she has R's in there where they don't belong? "Sar" for "so."
She has some good topics.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think that it's important to understand how we got to this point in our country with Christianity and why Christianity in the West has been so perverted, because you don't see this in other parts of the world when it comes to these campaigns, and why they're so gung-ho on just trying to indoctrinate and influence everybody to, simp for Israel.
Wrong. She says it's only an American problem, Amalek.
Yeah, that's not true.
No, way off. It's 700 million around the world. We share these clips all the time. Why are they pretending they don't exist? South America, Asian countries, anywhere Christianity goes. In fact, the most spreading Christianity is probably the Zionist one.
Correct. Yeah. Like Pentecostalism is spreading like wildfire throughout Latin America. It's pretty much Zionist by default. Also Philippines, like Chabad Lubavitch has been drawing on those Christians and like doing a trial balloon of converting them to Noahidism to see how it's going to work with all the Christians. So.
Amalek, can you believe that?
She must not have seen the Korean Yeshua song that I posted the other day. She must have missed that one.
I know. We talk about it all the time, saying it's not. I tweeted, it's not just an American thing. And then here she goes, it's just like America. The pastors are all being paid off by the satanic Rothschilds. It's just like, dude, this is such a limited way of creating. She's just protecting the problem at this point, trying to say that it's just this one little thing.
And it all goes back to the fact that they, in 1830 with John Darby, who created dispensationalism and basically created this ideology of a two covenant theology, when really there's only one covenant, and that one covenant is with Jesus Christ. When you think of the satanic Rothschilds Israel, it was created by the Rothschilds with the aid of America. And they want to be able to rule the world order from Jerusalem. That is what their goal is. And
dude, what is your goal with Jesus? Does she not want Jesus to? Do Christians not want Jesus to return and rule the world according to the same prophecies?
From Mount Zion, which is not Zionist at all.
Right. Yeah, the law will come forth from Zion with Jesus. Then it's based, if his name is Jesus and he died once, then it's cool. Crazy.
Ironically, when she
see this.
Yeah. Go ahead. Ironically, she actually sabotages replacement theology by saying there's just one covenant, which means you can't have a new covenant for the church to supplant the old one. So covenant theology, if anything, is less anti-Judaic than replacement theology. It's more scripturally consistent, I dare say.
By the Rothschilds with the aid of America. And they want to be able to rule the world order from Jerusalem. That is what their goal is. And they knew that they could not accomplish this if they did not have backing of Christianity, because the West is a Christian nation. America has historically, from the moment of its creation, been a Christian nation. So they had to go in and they had to put these commentaries in the Bible that created all of these false doctrines that made
Christianity made it all possible. It wouldn't have happened if there was no Christianity. They wouldn't be able to switch these doctrines and get everybody to support them. This cope is so bad. I love how they've been saying this for so long, and where has it gotten them? That's the other thing. We've heard this cope before. Where has it gotten you?
To put these commentaries in the Bible that created all of these false doctrines that made Christians think that if they didn't bless Israel, that they were going to go to hell, or that bad things were going to happen to them, and none of it was true. So this is why we see what we see today in the West, and I think that it's really important for us to always carry the mind of Christ when we're dealing with these people. It's very easy for us. I don't know how long you guys have all been awake or how long everybody has been awake to this, but a lot of us coming, out of this, we were once there too, and we didn't see it. And this is a centuries-long plan that they have been ushering out to control Christians and using religion.
So a few years ago, she was a pro-Christian Zionist. Is that what she just admitted to? Not surprised. That's funny. But we should listen to her now. She was totally duped, but now she's got it right.
She shouldn't listen to someone like Adam, who's been warning you about these things since the 2010s. Definitely not.
Not that early. 2016, 2015.
2016,
So I
okay.
think just having the mind of Christ when we're dealing with these people is very, very important. And keeping that in mind, what can we do? We can speak the truth to them. Jesus said that his sheep know his voice. And if people are going to love the truth, then at some point they're going to be able to come out of these doctrines, and obviously just start teaching them the history, because how many people don't know the history? How many people don't know that only 200 years ago dispensationalism was created and all these end times theories were created, and that they have to build this.
Wait.
The first
There were
Christians
no
were
end
literally-
times theories
Yeah.
before 200 years ago? Come on.
Every single generation.
Hold on,
of
Emily.
Christians.
She still believes in almost all of these end times theories, by the way.
All right.
Go ahead, Emily. Sorry.
I was every single generation of Christians has always believed in end times prophecies. There's not a single one since the very first generation of Christians that didn't believe in apocalyptic messianic expectations. Not one, not a single one. So what is she talking about?
There are some Christian schools of thought like amillennialism or preterism, especially full preterism, that more or less kind of take the sting out of the end times apocalypticism. But I think there's a very strong case to be made that the original church fathers did believe in the worst form of, millennialism, expecting Jesus to rule the world directly for 1,000 years, which is what the Jews expect too. They expect the Jewish Messiah will rule for 1,000 years in the Sabbath millennium.
With a physical restoration of Israel as part of it. Not just spiritual either. It was a physical restoration of Israel in our world, not just the heavenly world.
With a rebuilt third temple as described in Ezekiel 38. So when you have Christians, to their credit, they're at least opposed to the idea of the third temple being rebuilt, but it comes from Ezekiel. This isn't something that
There's
the Talmud made
prophecies
up.
from God that says the temple will last forever. The kingdom and the temple will last forever.
Yeah.
You got to love I know the dispensationalism cope really gets under Amalek's skin. That's the scapegoat for everything.
Was created, and all these end times theories were created, and that they have to build this third temple, and everything has been replaced with Christianity in the West to worship Israel instead of Jesus Christ. They don't even see that. So that is my main thing, just to kick this off, is just keep speaking the truth, and the people that love the truth are going to come to the truth, and they might not come to it right away, but they're going to come to it at some point.
Going back to Morgan's point earlier, where she claims that this Zionist Christianity is only popular in the U.S., she's probably just conflating with the fact that Christianity is not practiced that widely in Europe. So, yeah, you don't have Zionist Christianity and you don't have Christianity. Go figure.
Yeah. Carlin says she's so annoying. No, Carlin, I could listen to her all day. I could. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Joel Webbin's recap of the event. Christians posting their L's big time.
Was one thing that
Let's see a little bit of this from Joel Webbin.
They were gracious. They were hospitable. I disagree with the philosophy. I went to voice my disagreement, and I did. Other than that, though, they were very kind. The only thing that I did not appreciate is they scheduled this Muslim woman who offered a Muslim prayer to a false god directly. They could have scheduled her at any point throughout the day. They scheduled her directly after my speech. So you have on video me stepping down, giving the microphone to the host, and the host immediately welcoming this woman wearing a hijab.
So that means he must have watched my clip. Him and Nick.
I thought that when I saw that for sure.
Both him and Nick last night they referenced the clips that only came from my account, which is so funny to me, knowing that they were sitting there and had to watch those clips. Dude, you guys both worship the monotheistic God. It's the same. It's the same God. Shut the fuck up.
She said hamdallah because she said like God is great and it's the same
Yeah.
God you worship from the Bible. Get real.
And it's asking that God to bless Muhammad, okay? And just because you think Muhammad didn't receive authentic revelation, like calling that demons is like that is so childish and ridiculous. Like even if I were to be a Christian, I would think that this is like so ridiculous and like oh man, that's demonic. You guys asked for a blessing from the same monotheistic God. Like it's just so childish. Grow up.
And you know, if they want to cope and say no, Allah is completely different, even though Muslims identify him as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and accept all of that revelation, well, how does that not apply as a double-edged sword to Christians? Do you hear Christians using the name Yahweh? No, they use aliases like God, how generic, or Lord. So how can they be certain that they're worshiping the same God as the Jewish God of the Bible, which is apparently so good?
Yeah, it's only pretty much the Christian e-crusader cope that Muslims and Jews worship a different God.
It's kind of rude of him to be so, just like called us like sand demons or something. Oh, okay. First of all, it's just kind of rude. Like I didn't speak that way about Christians or Christianity, but also like
I like the term. I'm going to start using that for his God.
Sand demon Yahweh.
Foreskin demons. I'm sorry I missed that. What was that? Finally, somebody donated. By the way, thank you. Number one Goiper, Kitty Shuckles. Thank you. Yeah, he's going to say that in a second. The sand demons. That's what we should call Yahweh. Sand demon, foreskin demon.
Offering a prayer to demons, and I, as a Christian pastor, I find that highly offensive. I knew that she was going to be there. I found out, a few days before that she was going to be there, but the fact that she was scheduled directly after me, I find that I was offended by that. So
they
that
did it
was
on
one thing that
purpose.
I think was kind of a low blow. I don't know if it was intentional. I'm not saying that it was, but it did seem like more than just a coincidence. We're gonna have the Christian pastor, and then we're gonna get this cool optic of a Christian pastor immediately followed by this Muslim woman.
Yep, they set you up, bro. Now everybody's laughing at you. Everybody on all sides of the aisle are laughing at me again.
Dude, the likes on that tweet, the likes on that tweet truly were a uniting of the whole world together. From all across the world, all nations and all people came together to like that tweet. I had from Bangladesh to Jerusalem, from New York City to LA. The whole world agreed on that one.
69 cents, $10 on Rumble. Adam,
thank you, Endgame.
Your content. Grew up in an evangelical Christian household, and my parents are everything you come to expect. I have some insight on the DLPFC Jesus/Christian/Jew brain. Thanks.
Tag me on Twitter or send me an email. I want to hear more. I've been thought so much. Every show since I learned about the Christ brain prefrontal cortex, I've been bringing it up. I'm never letting that down.
Isn't it hilarious how he's totally like he's like complaining about the placing of his cuck chair, right? Like he's upset by where he was in the pecking order rather than the fact that he was in fact in the cuck chair. He's upset that he was too close or something. Like I wanted my cuck chair to be far away, like maybe after lunch or something. It's ridiculous.
That's a good analogy. And the hilarious thing is, in the actual Bible, Ishmael is treated much more generously, father of the Muslims, effectively in the Arabs, than Esau. So, who's actually cucked? Oh, wait, Christians are by the Bible. Whoops.
It felt intentional. And if it was, then I take very great offense at that. I think that was wrong. But anyways, that was the event. So a lot of the criticisms that the event has garnered over the last couple of days, I agree with, because what fellowship? The scripture says, what fellowship does light have with darkness? Does Christ have with Baal or Beelzebub?
See what I'm saying? If you have a real Christian, they have to be Jesus first. They're not supposed to be with non-Christians. You can't unite with non-Christians if you're a real Christian. So cut the bullshit. That's what's causing the division. They're Jesus first. Call it what it is. And stop saying we're the ones causing infighting, right?
The answer is none. That you can't. There are certain people that you cannot link arms with. It has to be Christian.
Has to be Jew
It has to be. It has to be pro-white, not anti-white. The first speaker that they kicked it off with, Jose Varga, his whole speech was an anti-white speech. Imagine that. Like, we're going to partner with this guy because he's against Israel, but his entire speech, other than the things that were against Israel, the whole rest of it was against white people. And white people make up the majority of the country that he wants to hold office in. How is that going to work? It doesn't work. One of the individuals, another woman who was there, I didn't know about this until I was at the event.
He's a Protestant. Does he not think Protestants forever have been atoning and apologizing for past atrocities?
But it didn't play.
Uh-oh. I didn't see it maxed out, Bear. I'll look for it. You know? Like, you're trying to tell me that, like, in his view, what percentage of Protestant pastors in the world would he call anti-white on things they've said?
Probably 90%.
Yeah.
Literally. Plus. Yeah, like that infamous "so sorry" shirt from the 2010s where, you know, white Christians are apologizing for slavery. That was a church thing.
Yeah, if it's somebody, I mean, the Pope washes African feet, but like, it's the Protestant pastors that are like, hey, bring this black kid up on stage and washes his feet and says, so sorry for slavery and stuff, right? We see those humiliation rituals from Christians all the time. But apologizing for anti-Semitism in the past, too, especially.
But
you know, I have to say, though, oh, sorry. Not all of the Christians there would have agreed with Joel's sentiment that, you know, we can only work together with Christians, basically. Like, to Jake Shields' great credit, we had a great talk about paganism and Christianity. Jake Shields is, very friendly towards this understanding. You know, he's a devout Christian. Okay, that's cool. And he also mentioned that his, I think, producer or cameraman is a Gnostic Christian, as it were. More like, I think Marcionite would be more accurate. Yeah, you know, I don't think it's theologically accurate, but maybe it's well-intentioned. Like, it's a step towards removing Judaism from Christianity. Is it consistent? Well, I don't know, but you know, like when I was first
removing it, or is it a step limited hangout stopping from people removing it? That's what
fair question. It's a fair question.
And keeping people on the Jesus reservation.
Yeah, well, that's fair, because when I was, first red pilled on the Jewish question at the age of 19, a while ago, before the young people really were, I was a very devout Christian before this. And so my first step was to try to, okay, well, maybe I can reject all of the Old Testament. Well, whoops, I also have to reject quite a lot of the New Testament, especially the verses that are directly quoting the Old or situating the narrative with respect to the Old Testament or whatever. Okay, maybe we can look at Marcion's canon. Oh, wait, that still has the book of Acts and the Gospel of Luke and such. Well, okay, maybe those were modified. Well, that just kind of begs the question, how can we trust any of the scriptures in the first place? Now, the green pill really, I think, correctly dispels all of this and just shows, unfortunately, Jesus is the secret Messiah of, son of Joseph, etc., and explains how all of this works together, and probably does make it impossible to really be a Gnostic. But, people that haven't heard it, I think, probably are in most cases well-intentioned.
Jocelyn.
Hey, Jocelyn, thank you.
Loving these collabs. Loved your last stream with Neil. The best content online, and it's not even close.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Thank you, Jocelyn. You're the best. It's not even close. Okay, let's finish up Joel here.
Allegedly was selling, at least at some point, maybe a few weeks ago or months ago, but was selling T-shirts that say Doc's Ice. Doc's Ice. You can't partner with that. So you can't partner with the female libtard who wants to see Ice Agent.
17 cent $5 on Rumble. Is that a gimp suit? Great work.
What does he mean, gimp suit?
He's talking for the panel.
Webbin suit? The guy with the helmet?
I think so. Anyway, maybe I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay. Doxed and their families killed. You can't partner with the hijab Muslim girl praying to sand demons, and you can't partner with the
Yeoman sent $5 on Rumble. Here's a $5.
Thank you. Confirm no small hat, Alabama.
Mexican guy who's giving you a history of all the genocides committed by white people and why white people are terrible. Meanwhile, he's wanting to hold office in a predominantly white country that was founded by white people. So there can be no unity.
Thank you, Grace. Wow. Thank you, Grace.
Sex, vax, and microchip fund. The world is a better place with white animal stewardship and happy kids. Smile.
Thank you so much, Grace. You're the best. So harsh on other people and then so nice to me, it makes it feel extra
How
special.
come Joel isn't mentioning that the anti-white Jose guy is Christian? That's his brother in Christ.
Yeah, he believes in Jesus, dude. Unite. Jesus believers unite. Thank you, Grace. Getting us up for the slow day. D-sex. You mean get him spayed?
Like spay and neuter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna. Microchip. I think Adam might have already microchipped it to lead Mossad to me. I'll just have to hack their file. Yeah, no, because we're not gonna keep her in the house forever. She's gonna roam, so maybe that would be a good idea. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. America United Conference affiliated with the LaRouche org promoting the Oasis plan for Gaza. That network has documented ties to left-wing Russia shills. And like,
Yeah, that was a really important find. I think.
It's that top thread. It's the top thread is what you're going to want to go through.
Did I miss it?
Very first. Go underneath that.
There.
And right there.
No.
Yep. There you go.
This one? No.
I can't see your screen very well. It's so
shit.
small for me.
Hold on.
No, I can see. It's just really small. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah,
it's one of those replies
Maybe
to this.
It's basically just this. No, that's the one I just went to.
Hold on. Do you have the right one?
I shared this and said called it. I thought. So here's your post. Maybe I back up and it's here. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Can you just? We don't have to go super deep into it. Could you just give us, like a sum it up, the gist?
Yeah,
LaRouche, are they communists? Like, what's the deal exactly?
Hold on. I want you to be able to go through it. Hold on. I'm just gonna send you the thing right here.
Okay.
Right here, the thing. I just sent it to you in the chat. I just sent you the thread.
Oh yeah, James A. Folk. That's right.
Yeah. And then I just sent you my version of it.
Okay. LaRouche was a member of the Socialist Worker Party and then formed his own political party, recruiting from the same student group from Weather Underground. The Schiller Institute, run by LaRouche's late wife. Oh, interesting. Website has a section on the bridge. Is that like one of the terms he said? Yeah, remember I said I saw Lyndon LaRouche on InfoWars?
Yeah, and remember this guy in his speech, one of the things he said was like, my good friend Rex Jones, right? So he
Rex
knew
Jones
Rex.
invited. Did you talk to Rex?
Well, I did chat with Rex briefly. Didn't get into a ton of detail, but so I can't deeply vouch for him. But he seems like a good guy and a sincere believer. And the thing is, I think people can sincerely get swept up to and misled some of these takes. On a panel, Rex briefly mentioned a critique of Ukraine that I think was pretty unfair, but probably well-intentioned. Like, he was probably a sincere believer in this. So he referenced a real discussion that has...
Savage Red Crow sent $5 on Rumble. Not channel your inner Jew and breed that kitty for the shekels.
Nah.
Nah.
I don't want to do that.
So he referenced a recent discussion in the Ukrainian government about importing African migrants or others as guest workers in Ukraine. Certainly very disturbing from the standpoint of white nationalism, especially because Ukraine is the whitest country in Europe, with 99% white, very readily. Really, the only minorities are a very small Jewish minority and Tatars that are part white, part Slavic, even part Germanic, and very loyal to Ukraine anyway, so not really a problem. And, okay, yeah, that's disturbing, but that is just a discussion. There is actual white genocide happening in occupied Ukraine, where Russia has conquered territories from Ukraine, and they are taking predominantly non-white immigrants from the stands, like, Turkmenistan and war yachts and ethnicities most people have never heard of, and putting them into Ukrainian territory that Russia is occupying. And that fact's being very conveniently neglected, as is the fact that Russia is importing 1 million immigrants from India this year, to say nothing of African guest workers to work in factories to make weapons to kill Ukrainians, who are, again, the whitest country in Europe and quite innocent in this war. That's another matter. So I don't think it's a fair argument to focus on that one side, which is disturbing, but it's not even come true yet, and ignore the ongoing racial replacement in Ukraine, occupied Ukraine by Russia, and in Russia itself. But, Rex may just not have encountered that argument because, those kinds of things can be echo chambers and people just don't see the pro-Ukraine right-wing argument. It's been heavily suppressed. So, I don't know,
You're talking about, you started that with saying Rex Jones said something
Yes.
about Trump not stopping support of Ukraine? Okay.
Well,
that's how he opened the panel. That's how he opened the panel. Adam, is Rex. One of the first things Rex said was complaining that Donald Trump said he would end the war in Ukraine before it even got into office, and that he hasn't done that yet.
And it's, it's very typical of people that are, I think, misled to be pro-Russia to conflate ending the war with ending support for Ukraine. If anything, Trump has indeed walked back support for Ukraine. The United States is no longer really donating anything to Ukraine. European countries are allowed to buy some weapons for Ukraine, but that's, their funds are not unlimited. So, in fact, it's quite disgusting to see Israel getting hundreds and hundreds of U.S. Patriot missiles expended in this Iran war for Israel, and in just a few weeks' time, whereas Ukraine, facing maybe the world's number 2 military, has only gotten some 680 missiles in over 4 years to defend against Russian missiles. It seems bitterly unfair, if anything. But, I'd like to give Rex a chance to hear the other side. I don't want to assume that he's some kind of bad actor. He probably is a sincere believer in this, and I think he's just not heard the other argument, and so hopefully that'll change his mind.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk to him.
Yeah.
I asked him.
And LaRouche, what used to be a significant thing, trying to leech off right-wing circles, trying to prevent people from being explicitly counter-Judaic or counter-Semitic in any way, sometimes using anti-Semitic sounding dog whistles to rope them in. Certainly his organization was very culty, and I think it actually took advantage of Jewish people as well. Like, it kind of preyed on Jews maybe disproportionately in terms of victims of this cult, but, maybe also whom it would appeal to.
So, Amalek, this seems like this guy, Caleb Maupin, who I've never heard of.
You've heard of him.
I have?
If you scroll...
Does he have something to do with Candace?
If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that he's part of the Jackson Hinkle, Jimmy Dore, Greg Ritter crew, if that makes sense, right? So he's RT. He worked for
why
RT
are we talking about this guy though? Like, how did this guy get connected in? What does this guy have to do with? He's in LaRouche
network.
Yeah, he's part of this network. And he's also
promoted the Eurasian land bridge to Russia.
Yeah, go to the next part of the thread. It shows the guy that guy has worked for RT directly, and there's a
LaRouche in Moscow.
Show.
Oh, that's the Schiller Institute too. Okay, land bridge. All right, hold on. What am I looking at here? Ukraine banning the subversive, socialist, and communist.
Yeah, Ukraine banned various communist parties and socialist parties, including one that was run by a Jew, one Mr. Rabinovich, which is Russian for son of the rabbi. And Tucker et al. Were freaking out. Oh my God, Ukraine's not a real democracy anymore. Yeah, maybe we need to start banning traitors and communists.
Yeah, and if I were Ukraine, I would ban the Russian Orthodox Church too in a heartbeat. It's the right thing to do after Russia invades you. Like, allow
for sure.
spy outposts within your country,
Yeah.
and they go, oh, they hate Christianity. It's a war on Christianity. It's like wrong.
incredibly disingenuous of Tucker. Like, he'll refer to it as the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, which may be the name that it takes, but it is the Patriarchate of Moscow. It's completely distinct from the autocephalous Ukrainian Church, which is not banned. The Moscow Church, as it were, has had many of its priests caught actively spying on Ukraine, like correcting artillery fire and such, betraying the country in a time of war. And that's completely understandable. What Tucker is doing is being incredibly disingenuous by not even admitting it's a Russian church and that the Ukrainian autocephalous church is in perfectly good stead. People have the exact freedom to worship in it, etc. By the way, fun fact, the Azov battalion has Christian and pagan chaplains, which is pretty cool, and has various pagan rituals.
So this
Yeah,
is
you've
him
seen
with
that guy in the
Haas
middle.
and
Yeah.
Hinkle. This is the same guy. Okay.
Yeah, you've seen him in the middle before on RT before, right? He's done.
I don't know. No, it doesn't.
Interesting.
The face isn't familiar.
Yeah, Caleb Malpan, however you say it, is almost certainly actively on the Russian payroll.
Is he American?
Absolutely.
Is he American?
I think he's Canadian, but I'm not sure.
Canadian.
Yeah, I think he might be Canadian. I can't remember off the top of my head though.
Okay.
But he's involved in this network, like the whole thing.
Got it. All right. I see Expose the Enemy. John Swin says LaRouche first proposed the land bridge high-speed rail to connect with Asia. His wife is a Chinese agent from research. I don't understand how that's like a scandal, a high-speed rail like connecting Russia
They're
and
super
China. Like,
pro-China.
why is that?
It's like I've heard it described that like in the way that in a way that like a lot of people are pro-Russia in these like dissident spheres, that these guys are like pro-China in a ton of different ways, and that's just like one example of it. Is this like economic land bridge, like associating us closer with China rather than say like Europe or the rest of the world.
Exactly. And by the way, this whole Russia-Alaska land bridge is something that Trump mentioned as, quote, interesting in October of 2025 when Putin apparently pitched it directly to him. So while this may have originated as an op with LaRouche and his Russian handlers, unfortunately, it's being heavily shielded to the mainstream right, too. And it's probably exactly for that, to try to sabotage Europe. The whole goal of weakening NATO is to prevent NATO from having a nuclear umbrella to protect Western Europe and now Eastern Europe from being nuked by Russia. That's a huge danger.
There he is on RT. So his connecting to LaRouche, though, is he works for Schiller Institute, or he just was promoting the same land bridge as LaRouche. I'm trying to understand how
both things. Schiller Institute,
this guy to the event.
Schiller Institute is inseparable from LaRouche. Like Schiller Institute is like a subdivision of LaRouche, I would say. Like that's like a better way maybe of describing it. I think the Schiller Institute was founded itself by the same people, right? So yeah, it's just like a subdivision, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But one last thing about them. Sometimes we'll go over clips at them on your show where there's like people who like disrupt Zionist events or that are screaming about the genocide in Gaza, and it's like a lot of times left-wing people, and they're like being disruptive to maybe like primary opponents and things like that. That's a lot of times from these guys, and then what they do is they go and they do that, and then they sit there and they talk about it on stream with people like Greg Ritter, and that mapping guy, and so that's who is doing this constantly, right? So they're like, I would say like just like a group to be aware of, I guess, going forward whenever you guys see that kind of content.
And this is what I haven't explained to people. We played clips yesterday of this Vegas guy that started this event, and he said like he just went through all this like anti whites attacking brown stuff in history, and he is associated with Schiller Institute and LaRouche. Funniest name too. Did you guys hear me joking yesterday about it?
Yeah.
Are you a fellow Schiller? Because they call fellows. Right?
Yeah, that is an unfortunate name. That guy didn't really say anything particularly anti-Israel directly. He didn't situate the problem facing us as being an Israeli, much less a Judaic one. He implied that it's just, the white Western Empire that's hurting Gaza, just like it's hurting the Bronx, which is absolutely risibly insulting to Gazans. Gazans aren't getting billions of dollars in welfare and such the way the Bronx actually is, and the Gazans just want to be left alone and live in their own city. No one's bombing the Bronx. Maybe some of its inhabitants are committing some crimes. That's quite different.
Okay, now I guess that's all we have for the America First Uncensored. I will never bore you guys with that ever again, possibly. Chat. No, I'm just kidding. It was all right. It was hilarious. It was just so cringe. Enough of the cringe. Now let's get to some of the funniest president ever. This is gonna be added to the soundboard. See the lot. He sees the lot like seethe through it all. The great seethe through it all.
This is one of the times he did a great job on insulin. He doesn't even know what the hell. He had no idea. And I was sitting there seething. I was watching television. You know what it is to seethe? I seethe a lot.
I see the lot.
This is one of the times I was seething.
Me too.
Oz knows that. I was so angry. I said, I did it, and I didn't get credit for it. We did a lot of things we didn't get credit for, but I guess I did because here I am, I'm president. I guess I did.
Seething works.
Job on insulin. He doesn't even know what the hell. He had no idea.
Art of the seethe. I'm adding that shit to the.
That's such a good
soundboard. Is that a good one? I see a lot. When I'm seething, I'll play that. You guys can remind me. Okay, here's all the clips going around today. Trump with some kids. Let's see. And then we'll get to the Tucker and then the Alex Jones onion stuff.
How about you? What sport do you play?
I play volleyball, and in the summer I'm trying to get into soccer.
Well, and with your height, do you smash the ball in the volleyball?
No.
You get up high, can you jump high?
Not very.
Soccer might be better. I'm just looking, I think she'd be a great soccer player.
Sent $20 on Rumble. Based especially on Ukraine.
Dude, imagine telling the little Mexican girl she'd be a great soccer player.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, can you jump up over like the fucking 8-foot net, you little 3-foot girl? Better stick to soccer. That's great. Okay, what else do we got from Trump? Trump sizes up a young girl with his hands and says, I'm just looking at her. Beyond disgusting, and knowing what we know, it's hard to watch. Let's see.
Good luck, okay?
I play volleyball, and in the summer I'm trying to get into soccer.
Well, and with your height.
Chat says you should go back to Mexico, little girl. Imagine if he said that. That would be.
Do you smash?
Oh, you thought about playing volleyball in Mexico?
Can you jump high?
Not very.
Soccer might be better. I'm just looking, I think she'd be a great soccer player. Good luck, okay?
It's like looking at a little Chinese girl, like, are you good at math? Stick to math. I think you'll be a good math girl. That's so funny. Or a little black kid, he goes, you'll be a basketball player. All right. Little Jewish kid, be like, you'd be a good little banker. All right. Trump to school kids.
We just broke every record, and now we're going to take a hit because we have to make a journey down to Iran to take the nuclear weapon. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Remember, we sent that beautiful B-2 bomber in, and we blew up their nuclear potential. It was obliterated, for those that are not aware, and to a point where it would take them weeks to dig down, and we wouldn't let them dig down. We have our eyes on it all the time. But it was a very important thing. So we would have had an Iran with an
RFK is looking at his cell phone. He's bored out of his mind.
I know. Does Trump tell little Jewish kids that they're going to be little lawyers?
Nuclear weapon.
Is that his line?
And maybe we wouldn't all be here right now. I can tell you.
Look at this one. He'd make a great Mashiach. That's what they call. That's what they say.
They their sights on Europe first, and then us, because they're sick people. These are sick people, and we're not going to let lunatics have a nuclear weapon. The power of a nuclear weapon is.
Dude, telling kids that the Iranians are going to get a nuclear weapon to nuke them is like kind of fucked up, right? Like,
very disturbing.
Yeah,
this is not actually even close to happening. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, it reminds me of how, like, they say how traumatizing it was, all the kids getting under the tables for the
interesting content today
during the Cold War.
Shekels. Just want to know why Zelensky being a Jew is never part of the discussion regarding Ukraine.
It's always a part. It's all I ever hear in the discussion.
Yeah, I mean it's a fair point, and I'm very supportive of the nation of Ukraine. And granted, I'm heavily biased, and I freely admit it because I have a lot of friends there and I've lived there. But in Zelensky's case, number one, he just completely refused to prepare Ukraine before the full-scale invasion started. He actually told people more or less to stand down. He told the Azov battalion to unilaterally retreat in 2019. And indeed, when he ran for president, he ran on a platform of being conciliatory towards Russia. In fact, you had people on the so-called dissident right, like the Saker, who wrote for UNS, very pro-Russia, telling people that it was good that Zelensky was winning, that he was a good Jew against the Anglo-Zionist, Atlanticist, blah, blah, blah. So at the time, they claimed to support him over Poroshenko, who was his opponent there. So that, obviously Zelensky's quite bad in terms of just being an effective leader. And the irony is, even Zelensky has offered to completely step down as part of a peace condition. So Russia has the ability to end this war. Ukraine would give up some territory, I think, and I think that would be, unfortunately, the right choice. And then Zelensky would be out of there. So if Russia was an authentic opponent of Zelensky, they could do that. In fact, even Dugin and others have talked about how they could choose to kill Zelensky, but they're not choosing to. So, they're not good opponents of Zelensky in any way.
I'm picking up, you think, a Zelensky's controlled opposition type of vibe. Is that what you're trying to tell us a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily make that claim because I think it's a serious one. I think he's not a great leader overall, but if anything, so the story of Zelensky, he starts out as the protege of a sponsor named Igor Kolomoisky, who is a very wealthy Jewish oligarch who stole billions of dollars from Ukraine. But Igor Kolomoisky was pro-Russia for almost all of his life until 2013, 2014, really, when you had the Maidan Revolution. Not a coup, by the way. I can go into that. And he just saw the writing on the wall, and so he pretended to be pro-Ukraine, largely because he was concerned about his business interests in south-central Ukraine potentially being taken away from him if the fighting expanded. And he did fund early on various Ukrainian battalions, but it's unclear that he was ever a major donor to them after about 2014. I see no evidence of it at the very least. Then by 2019, Igor Kolomoisky was openly very pro-Russia again. In fact, he's more pro-Russia than Putin himself for Ukraine, saying that he wants Ukraine to join a new Warsaw Pact with Russia in an interview with the New York Times in 2019. And so people that rightly criticize Igor Kolomoisky's ties to Zelensky just kind of ignore that fact, which is unfortunate. Now, Zelensky wins in 2018. He has substantial support from Kolomoisky. Kolomoisky kind of gets him started with a TV show that he owns. He creates this predictive programming story of a teacher who's outraged at corruption and gets drafted for president by the populace. He doesn't even want to run. It's literally Zelensky is the actor, and so that's kind of a brilliant, albeit highly manipulative device to get public attention. And unfortunately, Azov didn't do very well in the presidential election there, despite it being run by a guy who's descended of, generations of nobility that served Ukraine even before it was called Ukraine, and someone who's risked his own life and led the defense of Ukraine for a very long time. So it was unfortunate, but that is the way democracy works, unfortunately. Maybe why we need an alternative to it.
Okay, now let's hear another one from Trump.
It's embarrassing, right? So I don't think we'll have to worry about you.
Yes, sir.
You're going to do good. Are you a strong person?
Yes, sir.
Good. You think you can take me in a fight? I think you could. Hey, that would be embarrassing, right? How about you? So I don't think we'll have to worry about you.
Yes, sir.
Trump with kids. Teaching them to do his dance.
Oh, the YMCA dance.
This is going in the propaganda reels. This right here. What'd you say? Oh, hold on.
Zorn Dare Edom sent $5. Yes, Adam, that was my angle regarding Zelensky. Great response from guest. Thanks.
Good.
I'm all for the white folk of Ukraine.
Thanks, buddy.
You just pleased my harshest.
Only another puppet proxy serving a greater plan. Great looking cat, Adam.
Dude, you just impressed and satisfied my most pro-Russia super chatter. Good
Wow.
job. Good job.
I mean, I understand where
He's
people
always
are coming
seething
from.
at me over what I say, but okay.
Well, I understand where people are coming from. Hilariously, perhaps, when I was quite young, I actually was a Russophile. Like in 2012, I taught myself quite fluent Russian. I had Russian pen pal friends, etc. It was kind of in the water, even at the time.
Joss Beto 5 sent $20 on Rumble. For the new family member. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
another
Jaws. Thank you,
Let's
Jaws.
go.
Yeah, this is the first show where she's hung out with me the whole time, and she's doing good. She's been in my lap. I don't know about biting my headphones, though. Okay.
But, I went from being a Russophile to actually understanding that the nation of Ukraine far better encapsulates the virtues that sincere Russophiles hope that Russia does. But, like, actual Russian society is quite different. The history of Russia is one of kind of a schizophrenic identity towards Europe, despite there being like excellent Russian people, highly intelligent, etc. They're just kind of screwed over by this entire Russian civilization. Whereas Ukraine has always been pro-European. It has often saved Europe from interlopers from the East, etc. So I would challenge people that identify as Russophiles that are sincere. Look, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but look into Ukraine. I think you'll see it better encapsulates the virtues.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now let's do the Tucker segment from his New York Times interview. A bunch of clips going around.
He didn't
about
put his
this.
hand.
Let's see these. What's going on here? Where is my...
And on the Bible because he affirmatively.
Okay, there it is.
What I was saying, which is you cannot mock other people's gods and put yourself in their place. Period. That is a deal killer for me. That's worse than the war with Iran, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I ask because, you've been talking.
Dude, can't mock other people's gods? What are you going to call for blasphemy laws? Free speech, but unless you're mocking anybody else's religion, I don't think so. We're going to mock whatever we want to mock. I don't care if it's your faith. Forget about it. We're going to mock it.
Would he ever show that kind of respect to white pagans, to Asatru pagans?
I don't know if he's ever knows that. He probably doesn't even know they exist. To be honest. But I'm sure he would mock it.
Talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that.
On your show, the day after Easter, you noted he did not put his hand on the Bible during his swearing-in ceremony as president. You said, and I'm quoting, maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he affirmatively rejects what's inside that book. And then on a recent show, you went further saying, here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist? Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods.
Zorn Dare Edom sent $5 way to work me to send more shekels at him. Setting record straight. Again, I've never been pro-Russia. I've long held that the whole Ukraine conflict has been a Jewish operation created from both sides.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Well, you're all, guys, everybody knows Edom's always in the chat saying, I hate Russia. So that's what I meant.
And exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist? Well, who knows? I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips because I'm not sure I fully understand what the Antichrist is. If there's just one, I actually tried to understand it. I may have said some are asking that. I'm not weighing in on that because I don't understand it. Just to be totally
No, in
clear.
Revelations, obviously, the
Christian moment. Oh, actually, yeah, sure. I called the president. I said, is the president the Antichrist? But I don't even know what that means. She should have said, is the what makes you think the Antichrist is real? Like, you think somebody's really, you think that, what's that movie? The Left Behind movie is going to unfold in the real world? Like,
well, he knows demons are real because he got scratched up in a bed and there were only dogs in there. So.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one.
JD has been subject to, this is well known, but I'll just confirm it, nonstop treachery from people on the neoconservative side.
Who are these people?
Around Marco Rubio. And they have been totally against JD Vance from the very beginning.
Who do you mean specifically?
I don't know is the real answer. I don't know.
You're accusing people of treachery, so I'm wondering.
Well, I know there's been a lot of treachery for sure. And I know they were so mad about JD getting that job. I mean,
who's they? Within the White House?
I don't know the answer to that. I've never worked there. So like, if you don't work there, you can say, you can say what you think you know, but it's hard to really know.
Dude, he's making these crazy accusations, and then she's asking for like the slightest bit of detail or evidence, and he just has nothing.
Right.
Just speaking out of his ass. What is this?
They were so mad, but I don't know who they were.
It's me being honest. Like, I don't really know who JD has been.
It's funny because like the implication here kind of is like that they're talking about she wants him to basically like name the Jew or something, right? Like, what is going on here?
He never does when he's pressed. He's always happy to dog whistle, to rope in the people that are anti-Semitic.
She's like, who is they? She's like, who is they? What are you talking about? They? Who are you talking about?
I don't know who they is either. Who's he talking about? Is in the White House?
The Satanists, obviously.
Wait, what do you mean? It's the people around Marco Rubio, he said. Who do you think that is? They? That's who's hanging out with Marco Rubio in the State Department right now? Kushner and all these guys that are doing this deal with Russia, deal with Iran. That's who's he's. That's why I think that they're trying to.
Rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what she's trying to hint at, right? That she's trying to basically get him to do that is to talk about those people doing.
I love how like the brand new Christian Tucker is like admits he doesn't even know what the Antichrist really is, but like he's on his show every day, like dispensational Schofield is not real and not real Christians and all this shit. No. And then he doesn't even know the first thing about religion, probably. Okay, let's see this one now.
Yeah, second, that's the Elders of Zion or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've heard references to it. It's like a czarist forgery or something.
How would you feel if your seatmate on a United flight cracked open the protocols of the Elders of Zion? You'd be shocked.
That's the Elders of Zion or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Second, that's the Elders of Zion.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know. He's heard of it, but he doesn't know what's actually in it. I don't find this scandalous at all, to be honest. He had writers at Fox News. They're probably like, oh, what's something crazy we can put in there, to equivalent of it.
He's just reading a script, yeah.
Here you go. Hold on. Kids are home. They want the kitty. Say bye-bye to the kitty, to the tiger. All right, here. Take her in the bathroom to go potty and keep her in there for a little bit. Oh, my gosh. You okay? Oh, she just scratched her. Hold on. Guys, can you talk for a second? I got to go take her. I think she got scared.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's really worth noting that Tucker is just lying here about the issue of, no, the Jews, like he's implying he'll never come out and say them, but the bad people, whoever they are so opposed to J.D. Vance. Bro, I saw an excellent thread listing all of the Jewish billionaires, very Zionist, that are getting quite close to J.D. Vance very recently. They're quite satisfied with him. There is no sense of opposition to him. And, when J.D. Vance accepted his nomination for vice president in 2024, he gave a speech in which he was just as bellicose against Iran as Donald Trump. He's been apparently pushing Trump to do more to fight Iran, whereas even Trump maybe wanted to do less kinetic action.
Yeah, that's all true and that's all interesting. But it's on the opposite side of that is within Israel. A ton of the rabbis that I watched, as far as like the clip when I do the clipping, and all their like JTV, they have guests on, and Flesher and all these guys. A lot of their narrative seems to be that, we got to keep our eye on that JD Vance. He could turn on us at any second. And even some have gone as far as say he's anti-Semitic or cozying up to the Fuentes wing and things like that. So while all the things that you just said, and all the things you listed are definitely true, there's still this like internal narrative that they have that like leaves the door open on that question. If you know what I mean?
Interesting. Well, it seems like they're trying to control the Overton window, so just to push it as far as pro-Jewish as they possibly can, such that anything that's just slightly removed from super emotional Zionism and wanting to build a third temple is actually anti-Semitic. Oy vey.
Okay, now they're asking him a bunch about Nick Fuentes.
Ted Cruz
as well. His interview with Nick Fuentes.
Who do you think is more morally repulsive, Ted Cruz or
Who
Nick
do you
Fuentes?
think is more morally repulsive?
Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a sitting U.S. senator who has called for the killing of people who did nothing wrong, whole populations who advocated for this war. Nick Fuentes is like a kid. He's like 26 or 70. He has no power except his words. Here you have a public official who we pay, who has actual power, who's voting for things, who's making policy decisions, and those decisions would include, in fact, they are focused on the murder of people who did nothing wrong. And yet no one thinks it's a big deal. Well, this is totally fine. I mean, if there's tape of Nick Fuentes saying we should kill people because we hate their parents, or it's okay to kill children, I would love to see the tape, because that's disgusting. And that's basically what the entire U.S. Senate does every single day, and no one notices. Nick Fuentes said something naughty that I disagreed with. He made fun of things that I don't think I would never make fun of them.
He's a white nationalist who's denied the Holocaust. And what I will say,
okay, but is that worse than killing kids?
From my understanding of my own, I was just in Germany recently. And
I think Tucker made a good point there. Like, jokes or having certain views, you can't compare that to somebody that's been in power, that's advocating for major wars, that's justifying, tons of kids being bombed. He has a point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And well, the other thing too is, in Tucker's defense here, I guess, is that Ted Cruz is a member of a large dispensationalist church. I have watched his pastor, and his pastor has literally directly quoted from the Left Behind series. Like I've seen those. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he's real cool. He's cool with. John
Yeah. So we always say like it's not just that, but like just it also is, right? And this is one of those cases where it is what they're talking about here. It's just they're zoomed in on this like one issue. They don't see the broader problem, that it's not just this part of it. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Being edgy is worse than genocide, says Jutsu. Yeah, that's kind of like the comparison.
And it was such a good reminder that the Holocaust didn't start with the gassing of Jews. It started with the dehumanization of Jews. It was language that was used. And again, that is what it concerns people.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why when you have a U.S. senator, a member of Congress, a U.S. ambassador waving away civilian deaths as if they don't matter, that's the language of genocide, which results, and this is the lesson of the Holocaust, in genocide itself. And it has. So the lesson for me, really, watching all of
Hail the Meow Shiak.
Meow Shiak, that's really funny. Yeah, that's Valhalla. I think Valhalla or Bus is always cracking me up. And by the way, the kid's okay. She didn't hit it. She went, but she didn't get scratched.
Of this is that this can happen in civilized countries. In all human beings, there is the capacity to ignore the evil right in front of you. And my point is, it's happening right now. And my job, to the extent I have one, I don't really have a job, but I just want to remind people that we're all capable of that, including me, and that we're watching it right now. And if you think that Nick Fuentes is a greater threat to other human beings than Ted Cruz, I would love to know how.
I can imagine people hearing this and thinking you are soft pedaling Nick Fuentes. You are.
Hold on. He asked her a question and then she didn't answer it. Okay, you think Nick is worse? Explain to me.
Apologizing for Nick Fuentes.
I'm hardly soft-pedaling Nick Fuentes. I'm trying to awaken people to killing of innocents in our midst, which we are not only encouraged to ignore, but really told to ignore on pain of being denounced. And I'm just saying, no, I'm not doing that.
It was a good reply.
Yep, not bad.
I don't know how much more we're going to go through this, but Nick did go over this last night. He had a lot of interesting things to say, and I wouldn't want to paraphrase or like summarize what he said, because he went into detail on every single one of these, and he played it alongside of some of the clips and his perspective, since he was mentioned so much. So I'm sure there's Reuther clips going around of him describing this. So if I would suggest people kind of, because this is like about Nick, which is so weird that this is like, the basically the crux of the whole political argument at this point, of dialogue.
Instead, there were a lot of cowardly people, as there always are, and Trump engenders cowardice in the people around him through intimidation. And there is a kind of quality that he has that's spellbinding, and I think it probably literally is a spell. And the effect is to weaken people around him and make them more compliant and more confused. And I've experienced this myself. You spend a day with Trump and sort of like you're in this kind of dreamland. It's like smoking hash or something. It's interesting, very interesting. And there may be a supernatural component to it. I'm not a theologian, but it's real. And anyone who's been around him can tell you it's real. Instead,
Did he say that following Trump is like smoking hash? Is that what I heard him say?
Like
Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah punish them for their crimes, whatever.
Very interesting. And there may be a supernatural component to it. I'm not a theologian, but it's real, and anyone who's been around him can tell you it's real.
Dude, it reminds me of the guy that does impressions of Tucker. I don't know if it is, but it is, and it's real. I don't know if it's true, but it's real.
I'm just asking questions.
Supernatural. I mean, the supernatural is obviously real, so Trump may have hypnotized the world to support him because he may be the Antichrist. I don't even know what that is, but...
The only way I could have possibly supported Donald Trump in 2024 after Abraham Accords and him promising to bomb Iran was I was hypnotized. That's it.
Sort of like you're in this kind of dreamland. It's like
smoking hash with Yeshua the Rasta. Mash, mash, mash. Okay, let's see. Do we have any more? Is that all of them? Okay. Jay Dyer. I can't handle Jay Dyer. Onion. Let's do the Onion. Get your guys' thoughts on the Onion before that's.
You could. You could also bring up the. There's the.
That's right. That's right. Let's do a Jewish celebration.
Yeah.
Let's do a palate cleanse with some
your
celebrating
DMs
rabbis.
have some funny ones. That's important stuff.
This is the dance they do when billions of goyams bow down to the God of Israel.
This is the Jewish America First United Conference.
This is Pentecostals, basically.
Oh, dude, he's got like tiki torches with Charlottesville maxing. Is he gonna juggle those? They're on fire. He's got like 3 juggling. Oh yeah. He drops it. The synagogue burned down. They blame some anti-Semite. Dude, these guys know how to party. You know they're all hammered on vodka right now. Their wives are at home with their 10 kids, cooking up a huge kosher meal. And these guys are just dancing their asses off in their massive $10,000 hats.
But hey, they're all in welfare, and your tax dollars are paying for this, subsidizing all their kids, their fake businesses, etc.
Do any of you guys party like this with all your bros like this?
This is in Israel. This is at the shrines.
Oh shit!
This is at the shrine. So this is in. I
feel like I'm watching Dune. The Fremen and Dune do their weird thing.
It's in. It's called Meron, I think, or something like that. And
so what are they celebrating? This is today. What are they celebrating?
It was yeah. So it's the story about Rashbi. So it's Rabbi Akiva.
Gallaudet said $10. They are really.
Dude, this guy on the ladder's really getting it.
Dude, they're going wild. Wait, hold on. This is a small one. Go to the Adam. If you go through, like, scroll.
I got it. I got the voice of Rabbi's one. Okay. Have you guys seen enough?
Wait till you see Lakewood and stuff. It's crazy. This is, yeah.
This is the so-called anti-Zionist Satmar in New York.
Yeah. Look at this crowd.
No audio.
How crazy is that?
Dude, it looks like Coachella. The Jewish Coachella.
They are Jew-maxing, dude.
Wow. Dude, they're sacrificing a baby to Moloch at the center, bro.
It says Baal on it.
Look, dude, it's an altar of Baal. Like for real, though. What is that? What are they burning, dude? They're all worshiping the. I don't even want to say it. What is this? Duvid, paging Duvid. Duvid, are you out there? Can you help us?
So Log Bar Omer, which is what they're celebrating, is not strictly speaking a biblical holiday. It celebrates the end of a plague among Rabbi Akiva's students and concomitantly honors mystic Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was a noted Kabbalist.
This is the thing. So this is what I think about this. So, I was talking to Adam about this right before the show. In the same way, like this is a rabbi from the 2nd century, and he's essentially like linked to all of these Zohar traditions. I quoted in my post the idea that only when one rises, the other must fall, referencing Rome and Jerusalem. And I would just say this about it: I think that a lot of these Jewish traditions, like I think if we were to look into them, that they would be very similar to the Christian ones that we see from the same time period, from like the 1st to 3rd century, where these are like basically like myths about people, essentially that likely didn't exist, or are essentially like literary constructs, and that these are 12th century ideas being backdated to these period. Now I know there's probably a lot of people who like see over that kind of idea, but that is what I think is going on here, and that is what this holiday is basically celebrating, is the story of that guy, essentially like the basis for like the Zohar and these types of traditions. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's directly linked to him.
Dude, are the E-Crusaders starting up theories about this being a baby being burnt here or something?
And like I suggest anyone who wants to know about his position, like look up his positions like on Rome. Like he hated Rome, basically. That's like kind of like what he is. He's like the rabbi seething about Rome, essentially. That's kind of...
So basically, it was just Jews concocting theological justifications to hate Rome and claiming that it's divinely inspired, etc., to just make their population.
Well, I don't think any of the cave story about him or any of these things. I don't think there's any historical basis.
Probably not. Fascinating.
Okay, was there any other videos there of that?
Yeah.
Or is that...
If in the DM, in my DMs or the DM, let me find. I'll just post it in chat. The one I'm talking about.
Hold on. Okay, I saw the most recent one. I saw that one.
The car one. Make sure you get
the Cybertruck.
Oh yeah.
Oh dude, they're cybermaxing.
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch.
Is this their music?
No, it's mine.
What's that?
Get out the way.
Dude, they got...
There's the crown. There's the Moshiach crown.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Dude, they've upgraded their Moshiach mobiles.
Yeah, dude,
their
that's
mitzvah
in Williamsburg,
tanks.
dude.
Dude, their mitzvah tanks are now Cybertrucks where the Goyim are in trouble.
Oof.
But yeah, they're
celebrating
going crazy
the Bar Kokhba revolt.
Yeah. It's linked to the Bar Kokhba revolt and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out.
How crazy is that? They got their own Cybertruck.
Get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
Crazy.
And then I just posted the last one in the chat just right now. This is them at Jerusalem. I think that's where they are.
Checking in on the supposed secular nation of Israel now. Let's see. The secular atheist Khazarian Israel, according to the schizos. Because you know the Khazarians are real into Bar Kokhba revolts.
Oh yeah.
That's loud. Reminds me of Mecca going around the cube.
Yeah. Look how many people.
Dude, I'm expecting this thing to like fall at any second. That's the last time. I remember seeing these guys on a huge bleachers and the whole thing came tumbling down. They don't follow those Goyim fire department regulations. Those are for the Goys. Safety standards.
Speaking of Khazars, so I did talk with someone at the event who was pushing the standard Khazar hypothesis. He didn't really give me a chance to talk, but I kind of helicoptered into the conversation, to be fair, so maybe I should have listened more first. But he was claiming that almost all Jews are not at all descended from Jews, of course. They're all descended from Khazars, and they combine paganism with the trappings of Judaism. That's why they're so bad. And he actually argued that all
those pagan Europeans are at it again.
I know. And I just brought up, look, man, genetic evidence indicates that about 50% of Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry is from the Levant, and about 50% of it's from Europe, although ironically, a lot of that European admixture appears to have been prehistoric, like from 6 to 10,000 years ago. Women from Italy, were kind of conquered and taken into the tribe that later became the Jews. So it's definitely not an admixture event from like 1,000 years ago or so, which is what the Khazar hypothesis claims. And he just said, well, I've seen otherwise, but okay, maybe we can just say it's 25%. It also ignores the fact that, number one, Mizrahi Jews are very clearly of Middle Eastern ancestry. Maybe they have some Arab admixture as well, and their religious views aren't really substantially different from Ashkenazi Jews. And then, ironically, there are some Eastern European Jewish tribes that could very well actually be descended of Khazars. They're very minor, and they're generally associated with the Karaites, which is a Turkic word. And ironically, those are often the best Jews. They were not really involved in communism in Eastern Europe. They were very friendly to the local populations. They're not well liked by pretty much any other sect of Jews. Kipchak Jews from Crimea, etc., kind of qualify as well. So ironically, maybe the Khazars are the good ones, not the bad ones.
And those are not those are non-Talmud Jews, essentially.
Exactly. And so they're, they quite offend the sages by not accepting the sages. Yeah, of course, the Torahs in the Old Testament are still major parts of the problem, but they usually mind their own business, and they're so disliked by ordinary Orthodox Jews and such. I don't really think they have any ability to do bad stuff, even if they wanted to, and I don't think they do usually.
Okay, we got some breaking news, guys. You're gonna love this, Amalek. You must have not have seen it because you would have brought it up already. We got a brand new Vrilify drop, and I'm in it.
Oh, let's go.
Let's see it.
Let's go.
Okay, let me get rid of this annoying noise. I hope that didn't blast your ears too hard, everybody. Let's see. Latest Vrilify on the uncensored, America First United.
People can't stop talking about the anti-Zionist Riz Party. With an elite roster featuring James Fishback, Sneaky Link, luchador wrestlers, on whoever the fuck this nigga is. America First United was literally a movie. Delta 8 Demon Evan Kilgore kicked things off by complimenting everybody's fits.
This look pretty good, man.
And then the voice of the youth, Pastor Joel Webben, handed out a donation basket, and things took a dark turn. Next on the mic was Osama bin Laden's widow. At this point, I lost all interest and chose to start maladaptive daydreaming about Morgan Ariel's used gym shorts. Nice. And now, a brief word from my sponsor.
Fuck you niggas.
Would you like to see
real?
more red-pilled OnlyFans models or more brown people at next year's anti-Zionist Riz Party?
Yes, dude. That's so good.
Oh, man. Dude has a good sense of humor.
He's got Doomer in there, dude. Oh, that's so funny.
Dude, I love that. Hold on. What did he? I didn't even see. Why did he show me?
Delta 8 Demon Evan Kilgore kicked things off by complimenting everybody's fits.
This look pretty good, man.
And then
he just showed me on there. Didn't say anything. I'll take it. This is
We're the only
funny.
ones covering this. Everyone else fucked off, dude. Go back to the Spencer face one.
Yeah, the Spencer face is the best part.
Youth, Pastor Joel Webben handed out a donation basket, and things took a dark turn.
He didn't really hand out a donation basket, did he?
No.
Yeah, that's funny. Would have been funny if he would. Banger sponsor, says Doomer Nat. That's great. Oh, dude.
It's so good, dude.
You guys are going to turn Doomer Matt into such a meme already. Not gonna. You have.
Dude, I'm convinced by that. What do you guys think about the Doomer Net or the Vrilify theory? That the Vrilify magic theory is what caused that from the beginning. He caused he caused that conference to happen, and then he makes content off it. It's like real magic, dude.
Okay, so now let's do the Onion thing. This is the Onion. They've spent, I'm assuming, millions of dollars. The war to take over InfoWars for the Sandy Hook families, apparently, they're saying. And this is the guy, this comedian, is going to just do a parody every day of Alex Jones, apparently. And this is a little excerpt from his first video. We'll see what's going on over here.
But I'm going to sip from the blood of the Forsaken. This is real human blood. You can find this at the InfoWars store. This is human blood curated from the Forsaken and the sinners. All right, this is pure premium blood, tested, FDA unapproved. And this is just human blood. As part of my satanic ritual, I am a servant to Satan. And thank God I was able to get him and the Lord to sit down and come to their senses and get things back to before Satan was cast into hell. So I'm part of that. I'm part of the peace movement. It's thick. It tastes like blood. And this is Satan giving me the powers to continue to fight. And we will.
Did you think Alex Jones impressions, making fun of like drinking blood and Satanist stuff? You think I would like this, but I don't know. It's just, this isn't doing it for me.
No, it's not funny.
It's day one and it's already, this is the clippable moment and it's this bad.
You know what it is? It's, comedy, like you can't actually hate the person. You can't actually for it to be good. If you actually hate the person, it doesn't come across right. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing. You know what I mean? You can kind of see that coming out the other end. These guys all hate Alex Jones, like really actually hate him.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably too dumb to understand this, but they've kind of got the Christian secret in plain sight here. Like the whole idea of Isaiah 63 is that Jesus makes Edom and the nations drunk with his message, with his communion wine that's poison, so that he can kill them and crush their heads in the winepress to drink their blood. So in a sense, Jesus drinks the blood of the Gentiles who are said to be sinners and not really saved. And then Satan, reconciles. He ceases to accuse the Jews. He becomes their defense attorney. And instead, he accuses the Gentiles of the sins of the Jews. In a perverse sense, they've kind of got it, but obviously, presumably, don't understand this.
No, they don't know anything remotely close to that, actually. He's just, I don't know. It's just a bad joke. Though he had years and years to prepare for like his first right. Alex Jones appearance, and that's what he gives us, some weak drinking blood to cast out Satan bit. Disappointing.
Even liberals aren't gonna like it.
And I tweeted I said it's like Onion's gonna regret buying this because if it's already day one and not that funny, it got a lot of likes. And there was all these leftists like, oh, you're so mad. Oh, are you sad? Do you need a tissue? Like, I'm crying. Like, I make fun of Alex Jones and do impressions and expose him all the time for years. And it's like, there's nothing I love more than a good making fun of Alex Jones or a good Alex Jones impression. That just wasn't very funny.
Continue to fight, and I cheers to you. If you have access to the blood of the Forsaken, and of all the children. This is not blood. These are adult. This is adult blood, by the way. Ain't no question. I made sure of that because I don't want to get in trouble. But this is the blood of the Forsaken.
Yeah, it's just not funny. Blood of Forsaken is just not funny, and the voice isn't too bad though. He's gonna have a sore throat like when I do after a stream when I do some Alex Jones impressions.
It looks like a lower testosterone version of Alex though, so it doesn't hit as well.
Yeah, Rex says all that money and no quality graphics. Yeah, like it's the Onion. They can't even like completely copy his studio. Give him a studio like Alex says, like not just a cheap green screen. Weak. Is this supposed to be funny? Everybody's just clowning on him. It's supposed to be, and Alex is already a parody. That is a good point too. So it's like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like Alex Jones is already doing like an impression of himself when he talks these days, right? Isn't that what he kind of sounds like? It's so weird.
The guy from Zeitgeist had a series years ago called Culture in Decline, and they had a segment
because it's gonna feel better if I do it before the new war.
That I think is a lot funnier. So let's watch that. You guys seen this before? This is old school.
No.
Okay,
yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
Forever ago. This is so old.
What is the guy's name? Joseph, the Zeitgeist guy?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, though. This
Anyway.
is so old.
Yeah, it was on his show, but that's not who this is. I don't know who this is, but this is Alex Jones winning like worst right-wing commentator award or something like that.
You son of a bitch. It's about time I won an award. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Alex Jones, and you know what? I'm here to rape your butt. You know why? Because it's going to feel better if I do it before the New World Order does. That's right. The globalists are positioning themselves behind you right now. They're going to take your guns, put you in FEMA camps, and make you their slaves. They think I'm a slave? I'm not a slave. And then late one night when you're drinking their homosexually fortified juice boxes, bam! The butt rape begins. And you'll be happy that old Alex was there first to loosen you up real nice and good.
On Rumble. People hate on Zeitgeist. I think unfairly. It started me on my path. And others I bet too.
Yeah, apparently they got some stuff wrong on like the pagan parallels and the sun connections a little bit, so people don't like that. And I can't remember the details of the 9/11 stuff, but yeah, Zeitgeist, that was like the first, that and Loose Change were like the first epic uber viral videos on like conspiracy internet genre. I bet you everybody in the chat's probably, if they've been around for a while, maybe the new heads, the newbies haven't seen it, but it was a big deal in early YouTube. I think it was the most popular YouTube documentary for like of its time, actually.
Isn't it surprising that like no one's made like a new version of that, or like a recent version of that you can like point to and think of? And you would think that now, like with the way content is, it would be like the more popular than ever before.
And think of what he exposed, like on paper, exposed Jesus as a myth, 9/11, and it was like Federal Reserve or just like banking, like not the worst of topics.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I looked up Acharya S many years later, and she was actively pro-white and counter-Judaic. So she got red pilled on it. I don't know what she's doing today, but.
Now, people, I'm not going to take too much time because I'm a humble man. But I want everybody to go to my website right now and buy my newest DVD, The Conspiracy. How the global elite pays me to make the liberty movement look insane. That's right, people. I'm an astroturfer. I'm not here to help things. I'm here to make activists look like freaks. I take viable issues of real concern and make them sound as ridiculous as possible. Just like all the other bobbleheads out there. I'm here to distract you, you morons, and keep you fighting about nonsense. And I get paid to do it. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, don't let this fatly looking body fool you. Okay?
Yeah,
I work out 4 times a day. I run 19 miles a day, and I drink Tangy Tangerine like it's my job. All right? I'm only big like this because the New World Order makes me... People, you know what keeps old Alex up at night? It's these daggum globalists. I'm sorry, I said globalists. Listen up, people. These neocons are suckling the buzzard. That ain't your mama. It's these NWO scum. They're going around trying to butt rape everybody. They're just nothing but a butt rape machine. It's these NWO globalist communist scum that are going around like a butt rape machine. I'm a butt rape machine. Butt rape machine. People, I am a butt rape machine. You know what? Instead of the bald eagle, the national symbol should be a man laying in submission in the fetal position, peeing on himself. That's what it should be, peeing all over his damn self. If you can't tell, this is all an act. It's a shtick. That's why I act all crazy and shit, flailing my arms and my neck like this. It's an act. It's a stick. I need money. Woo!
Keep grunting.
Yeah, how about that? You want some of that? You want some, Peter?
Okay, that's better. How about a little Stephen Colbert, too, since we're doing Alex Jones parodies?
Welcome back to Brain Fight. Listen.
See, he needs a studio like this. You can't. Alex is not on a green screen. It doesn't fit. Tuck Buckford.
Listen, people, the liberals want to tattoo Obama logos onto the skin of Christian babies, okay? And it makes me want to fight. Fight with my fists. My blood is on fire. My heart is a volcano. It's time to throw a virgin in there. I'm a skeleton wrapped in angry meat. I'm a warrior. I'm a king. One thing I'm not is a performance artist, because I hate artists, because Andy Warhol put chemicals in Campbell's soup that turns veterans into bisexual zombies. Now a word from
Laugh
our
track
sponsor,
fake.
Self-lubricating catheters. Buy my vitamins.
All right.
Dude, when was that? How old is that? Dude, I remember thinking, oh,
you son of a bitch.
2018 probably,
Man, what a
2015.
crazy
I don't know
thing.
exactly. Let's see it from the beginning. I think the beginning might have been a little better. This is like the beginning, the unleashing of the new Onions InfoWars. The beginning of it, the end of an era, the beginning of a new era.
Hi, everybody. It's Tim Heidecker here. I'm broadcasting now live on the internet. Thank you for joining me. We have major announcements to go through here. Lots going on. A lot of turmoil the past couple of days. On our road to total victory, we have just won a major battle, folks. Okay, Alex and his gang of liars and scoundrels have been cast out into the street. They have lost InfoWars, Infowars.com, and their various platforms now. They have been cast out, ladies and gentlemen. And make no mistake, we will be the new InfoWars. Now, we got to go through the machinations of the court, and we've had some setbacks over the past couple of days, but that is not stopping us. It is not tempering our resolve. Over the next several days or weeks, you will see.
Yeah, who's going to watch this? Are like InfoWars hating leftists going to be like tuning in thinking this is great? It's going to flop. It already feels like a flop, to be honest.
Even they won't
I'm
think it's funny.
disappointed. I know. They're just going to like pretend to like it because they hate Alex Jones so much. I want to like it. Come on. Onion did the Grabbler bit. I thought that was funny. Can we not get something funny here? Is it? I've never even heard of this. Is this the guy that fought Sam Hyde? Amalek, are you there? Do you know?
No,
Chat, do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay, I saw something. Now. People are saying stuff about Sam Hyde and this guy. I thought maybe that was.
Oh yeah, they had a thing. Yeah, they had a beef or whatever. I don't think he fought him. Those are
like
old,
a stand-up comedian
stuff.
or something. I don't.
Yeah, he was on. He was with on Comedy Central or not Comedy Central. Oh my God, what was it called back then?
He's gonna do the voice every single day. He got Tim Hyde's show canceled from Adult. Okay, Adult Swim.
Adult Swim. Okay. Yeah. So they're at Adult Swim together, and he's the one who canceled Hyde's show. But they didn't get. That's not who he fought.
Okay, he has a show with Eric Andre. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, he had a show at the same time. Sam Hyde had a show. Yep.
Cartoon Network. Okay, got it.
Much more coming out of this. So I just wanted to give you that. As you know, in the past couple of days, this third court of appeals down there in Texas has granted Alex a temporary stay, delaying justice for the Sandy Hook families. All right. This is merely a distraction by the courts. We knew this was going to be coming. We've prepared for it. We are continuing the fight. We are never been more resolved to seek restitution and justice for the Sandy Hook families. Now, in the past couple of days, my reputation as a comedian and as a podcaster and as an actor, if I look familiar to you, you might have seen me in the movie Bridesmaids and a number of other pictures and television shows, as well as my own work. My reputation has come under attack by Alex Jones and his cabal of liars and scoundrels and criminals. And I can tell you it's been difficult for me and my family, but my resolve has only been strengthened by this. I can weather these personal attacks. You can come at me all day long, and I will remain firm and strong because we have established a movement now. We are speaking now to the people out there consider themselves info warriors and who are on our side, okay? We have also established something really historic, folks. We have created an alliance between the Lord God and Satan himself. We have communicated with through spiritual practice, through demon rituals. We have gotten together, Lord Almighty and his son, to come together at the bargaining table. Or
I think he knows it. I think he's doing this and realizing like this is not good. I think he knows it. I'm getting that vibe. Like he feels like he's what's it called when you're a comedian on a stage, not flopping, crashing. What is it called?
Crashing out, maybe. I don't know.
Chat'll know. It's a term they always use. When a comedian doesn't do well in front of a crowd. Come on. What did Owen Benjamin always used
He's
to do?
bombing.
Bombing. He's bombing. He
Yeah.
knows he's bombing. Right.
And
for sure.
The thing is, like, they stole the InfoWars studio. Like, we can disagree with Alex Jones over Zionist issues, even though he's starting to get better on it. And we can be frustrated that for years he ignored them. He didn't have a fair talk with Adam, et cetera, et cetera. But, like, I hate to see these people just gloating over stealing someone's livelihood and stealing their business in a way that chills.
I agree. I agree. The judgment was politically targeted by leftists. And for causing the families any anxiety or stress, maybe a few million each to them. That's what the judgment should have been. Fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, not $1 billion and you lose your company. That's
it's absurd.
Neutral ground, not heaven, not hell. But we have communicated to them that we want an alliance of hell and heaven to push us through these final moments here. We have so much to get to. I am confirming now, I am wearing his skin. I've been wearing his skin now for about 2 weeks.
That's what Jones said.
It is tough skin. It is Texas skin. It's leathery, and Old Spice is the main fragrance, as well as various alcoholic beverages. All right. I do want to remind you, you can join theonion.com. The Onion is responsible.
This is like rough how hard this is, dude. Oh my God.
Old Spice and alcoholic beverages. I bet that's true.
That are being made right
It's
now.
just kind of gross,
the course we're moving forward is guided by them, and they are an institution. We ask you to join them now so you could participate in this fight and become a info warrior, because InfoWars will be coming to you courtesy of me as the creative director and The Onion. So join The Onion now. Get a subscription. You're not going to regret it. All right, we got a couple of phone calls we want to get to. Lots going on here. Do we have anybody on the line?
I want to say, Tim, hello. This is the President of the United States of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, a man.
Yeah. Chat says that I don't know how he's going to do this voice. Pretending to be Alex Jones' voice day in and day out is going to drive anybody crazy. So cringe. It's like, it's a brand new show. Maybe they haven't got it figured out yet, but it's going to get better possibly. Or how long is he going to do this for too?
This is like what hell is. This must be what hell is like, right? Like just if you, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemies. Could you imagine him doing this for 10 years or something like that? Like this is actually hell.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
5 minutes we're never getting back. I know.
That I have recently been feuding with over some of his policy decisions, but a man that I believe is a good man, and he's going to find his way through all this. But sir, it is a pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you. We're going to have our disagreement. We're going to have our fights, but we love each other. And when we love can conquer all, as they say.
Okay, I've had enough. I can't do anymore.
This is unfair because, if anything, Trump has betrayed Alex Jones, despite Alex Jones supporting Trump for years. So they're just trying to shill to liberals that, Alex Jones equals bad because Trump loves him, but Trump doesn't.
The other thing that's dumb, too, is these liberals think that, like, Alex Jones, that Onion took over Alex Jones and now he's gone or something. Like, this is just going to ultimately give him more attention, them doing this, parody of them. And it's going to make people feel like he's a victim. He was wrong. They're going to support him more through that. He's not going anywhere. He's just, changing the name of his network. So
Big Tech and I are better parody artists than with making the Jesus is White songs than these guys are with their multi-million dollars. It's kind of embarrassing. They totally missed the assignment there.
I'm going to save all this stuff for tomorrow because we're already at 2.5 hours. But, you know, one thing I forgot to do, I see Morgan Ariel shared this now. The Vrillium caught lying, throwing Amy Dangerfield under the bus.
I've heard that, yeah.
Let's see this.
Blowing
Uh-oh. Vrillium busted. She dropped the DMs on him. Did you see the other girl, too? The empath or something girl dropped DMs from Vrillium. He was rizzing her up in the comments or in the DMs.
Yeah. Well, Vrillium is engaged to be married. He's engaged to a Palestinian girl.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sharing private info. I barely talked to him, but I heard him talking about this with me present and with another person, too. So that's not great.
Amy Dangerfield. If you don't know Amy Dangerfield, she is a content creator and influencer. She reaches out, texts me, says thank you for me shouting her out in the video. Granted, shout out, I literally just like mentioned her in a video. In a time of growing America First voices like that of a Nick Fuentes, a Tucker Carlson, and a Kasparian or an Amy Dangerfield, and really yours truly, the video did well. She texts me, I respond, and then she calls me. She calls me on the phone, which I wish she had texted me, or like I didn't think to record it, but I mean, she calls me. We have a conversation on the phone, and she presents this idea of an event to me. All throughout this, she does not say the name of this event. She just gives me the idea. And I found the idea interesting. I like the idea. And there have been events like this. But most important red flag is the fact that
they're showing that he did know the name. It's in the preview of the message there. You saw it?
Yeah,
the name of it's right there. He knew it.
Previously, he was saying, oh, look at all these America First speakers like Tucker Carlson and Anna Kasparian. Which
yeah,
trying to say
please follow the group, the America First United, April 19th. Bet, dude. Bet. Okay, Vrillium, you're so cool. Bet.
Bruh. The name of this event. She just gives me the idea. And I found the idea interesting. I like the idea.
Hold on, what did I read there? This is also super helpful for Casey's
And I found
campaign.
the idea interesting. I like the idea. And there have been events like this. But most important red flag is the fact that it's called America First United. Phrases in there. America First. Immediate red flag. In a time of growing America First voices like that of a Nick Fuentes, really yours truly, she completely fucked it up and made a lot of people look very dumb and got herself indicted on a lot of shit. It's not.
Hold on.
So real quick, just to put that's the message that's saying that he's the one who invited the Doc's Ice girl right there. That's the message of him asking about like, hey, can I bring this girl?
Correct. He says, Genger Contessa, hot leftist ethnic mystery meet e-girl streamer chick. She's interested. Can I give her your number? Haha, yes, sure.
So I met that girl, by the way, Contessa. She's quite friendly. I know she's
she
part
hot?
Iran. Yeah, I'd say so. She's part Iranian. She wears the Farvahar, which is the ancient Zoroastrian symbol of Iran. I have a lot of Iranian friends, and honestly, man, like, not to get her in trouble or anything, but I think that a counter-Judaic counter-Zionist, but even more than just counter-Zionist argument resonates with her. Let's just put it that way. I'm not trying to get her in trouble with her lefty friends or anything.
She's anti-religious? Is that what you're saying?
Well, she's definitely anti-Judaism. Like, she's not a Christian either. We didn't talk extensively. She had to leave right after the thing, so we didn't get to chat a ton. But she was quite friendly. Now, granted, I didn't know she was selling a Doc's Ice shirt, but I mean, that's not great, obviously, but that is a widespread view on the left, and
That's
ultimately,
when they're suggesting an alliance with the left, like that's what the left says. So that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah,
Vrillium Broader. That's crazy.
And apparently, according to these leaked texts that we see, there was some mention of him proposing another Arab dude who's probably, I don't think it was, the Muslim girl, but someone else who's presumably not, shall we say, a white nationalist of Arab ancestry. So I don't know that he was involved in selecting all of the guests. And some of the ones that people were objecting to may not have been, quote, thoroughly vetted, but I don't know, if you want to do a big tent kind of thing, that's probably the kind of people you're going to get. At least they are talking to you and not calling for you to be silenced or something.
But she didn't speak also, right?
Right. She was not a speaker.
So why even invite her then?
He just probably wanted her to come and hang out and meet people and stuff like that. Probably one of his influencer friends.
He was just trying to hook up with her, dude. He's got the vril. He can't contain the vril and the Tourette's.
So much of this is just because they're newbies, guys. Like that's just a lot of this is like they haven't like lived through this the last 10 years and like seen been through and seen like what works and what doesn't and like realize what's happened before. Like they think that no one's ever tried anything like this or done anything like this and
they're well intentioned. Yeah, maybe just inexperienced.
It's super naive, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but I said like for a lot of these people, if they had $5 in their pocket, I could almost assuredly convince them to give it to me. That's just how they are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Looking good.
I mean, you kind of have to fail your way to success. You have to learn the lessons, etc.
On a lot of shit. It's not looking good for her, and I hope she's okay. Like I am upset with her because I feel like I've been duped. I feel like I've been tricked. But I'm not making this video to like start a beef or to like litigate anything. I just wanted to explain what happened and talk about it because everyone's talking about it. And I was
Vril Vision says he has 0 vril
there, so I assume some of you.
Yeah, he's a trans commie. Yeah, I know. A bunch of his old accounts got exposed. He was like a degenerate leftist, posting like ass photos online and saying weird sexual, what was it, like bisexual stuff, something like that, right? Dressing up like a girl for band photos.
We'll have questions.
I'd like to apologize beforehand. If you know me, I have Tourette's syndrome, so I'm going to look a little tweaked out. Don't worry about it. I'm okay.
That's got to suck.
Let me get into my speech. My name is Will Sexton. Some of you might know me as Vrillium. I know. I was invited by Amy to speak today, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
What does he mean, like, I know? Like, he's brand new, and he already hates his name? That's weird.
Yeah, like why would you choose like I don't know. The whole thing is weird.
He's like, I used to be called Vrillium, but now I've grown out of it and it's not serious or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, we got lots of Christian stuff. Back to the normal scheduled programming with all of our Christian expose stuff for tomorrow. Any closing stuff from you guys? Oh, look, there's the Dinesh D'Souza with this Discovery Institute guy again, denying evolution for Jewish Genesis.
Yeah, I watched like 12 minutes or something like that, or maybe 10 minutes of it, and it's pretty dumb.
I'm not going to cover that tomorrow, but all right. Thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks, everybody, for donating. I'm going to go take care of the cat. Go to the gym.
Thanks for having me on, Adam. It was a real honor. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for going and telling us about it and your good question and all the support. It's good to have you.
Man.
And thanks, Amelie, for coming, for being here again today. And
cool,
thanks.
You guys know what to do, and I will see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
I want to go out to Yeshua. I want to get high in Hyperborea right now.
Yeshua. And curses Hitler's birthday. Christ gonna get high, high, high. High in Hyperborea. Yeshua gonna march, march, march down Babylon. Yeshua was a Rasta. His eyes are blue and he's not a Jew. Yeshua was a Rasta. He's as blonde as the Lebanese ash he smokes. Yeshua was a Rasta. His pure iron DNA is the most potent strain the world has ever seen. Christ gonna get high, 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 high in Hyperborea. Yeshua gonna march, march, march down Babylon. Yeshua was a Rasta. He smokes cross-shaped joints every day. Yeshua was a Rasta. He's not brown like hash, he's white like deity diamond. Was a Rasta. He would smoke hookah on a donkey and teach from the Torah like a true Hyperborean or Rasta man. Christ gonna get high, 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 high in Hyperborea. Yeshua gonna march, march, march down Babylon. Yeshua was a Rasta. His eyes are blue and he's not a Jew. Yeshua was a Rasta. He's as blonde as the Lebanese ash he smoke. Yeshua was a Rasta. His pure iron DNA